Hello everyone, how are you all doing? I didn't have the chance to play around with the chat or settings too much because I got my tea and I spilled it. So I had to clean the table while everything was starting. And not to myself to get my tea ready before I start streaming. But, oh well. How are you all doing? We have John and Ali and Kevin, Celtic, Starseed, Karen, Gabriel, Emperor. Wow, a lot of people here. Glad to see you all here. Always a surprise. Okay, so Mike's doing good. Good to know. Like it's always checking the settings and everything. Okay, Kevin's saying it's getting crazier every day here, and he works at the grocery store, and people are starting to resist new laws. Great, great. Kevin, where are you from? More specifically, country? Like where people are doing more resistance? Because it's good to see that, like some of them are fighting back and like unwilling to wear masks or other things. I assume that they're not doing that. Alright, let's see. Sort of just playing with the settings for now, and I guess we can start in a few with answering questions and seeing what people are interested in. I'm here to give you my answers or just like talk about certain topics, so whatever you're interested in, tell me about it. So I was asking if I can tell you what I wrote you in an email, all of it. I'll say just a part. I sent you the session that I did. I wrote you the work with like removing entities, with the course cut, with beings I've met and all the stuff. So there's a lot of this like entity like removal and like working on you. But I'm not sure if you got it and like, are you feeling any better? Do you see any changes? Because like it seems like I did like 4 or 5 sessions on you, and I might have not sent you all the details, but like from what you're writing to me, I'm seeing that like you're not getting any better. Can you have a scan here? I'm not sure if I'm gonna do sessions today. Like maybe when Rich joins me, and if he joins me, I'm not sure. Like maybe I'll talk to him if we could do the dual session together or not. But yeah, like my main priority right now is to ask or Q&A, answer questions, and just be here to you, like for you people to give information. And if I deliver what I can, then I can move on to like doing sessions and all this stuff. And same thing, I did like tons of sessions today, so it's more like time for a break, it's enough for a while. So we'll see, like basically lately I've been reading some books and looking into the more like psychic self-defenses and like what other people are saying, what they can do against the entities for the energy work and all the stuff. So it's like interesting findings, and at the same time learning more about, a lot of people are worrying, so I'm just looking into information, like what can I find so that I could be there to help people or just give them some tips and stuff like that. So like lots of variations. And at the same time, I wanted to ask you people, how many of you would actually be interested in if I played Death Stranding? Like I was wondering, like it's probably the only game right now that I would actually go for. That's actually like damn, it's good. I'm interested, and I'm not sure how many of you would be satisfied if I did that. Like for me, I would probably like do it like I don't know, like on work days where not that many people are on stream, because I think most of them just like come here for Q&A and just like some information. I don't know, so just like wondering. But yeah, we have Cosmos United, Marcelo, Night Mills. Hey you all. Nightman's asking, hi, what do you think about magicians encouraging people to talk or to contact demons? You gotta be really careful with that. Whenever it comes to contacting or making contact with any kind of entity, it's already having to be careful, but that's just an entity. When it comes to demons, it's a much more difficult thing, because that is where you don't really have that much control, and you can actually get fucked over, to be honest. And so for me, I know like when contacting entities, I have to be careful to make sure like I make this wall where I can get information, but I'm gonna make sure there's no way they can take over, possess, or be there to influence my thoughts and my thinking. A lot of times, even like the same kind of channeling is really going sideways, where you're getting information, and some of it is actually really good, and you're like, damn, this is good content, I'm actually getting somewhere with this. But at the same time, it's like, you're getting a little of that deception and lies, and then the whole mindset changes, and you're getting like kind of fucked over with that. So like, I would not, for starters, in the very beginning, I would not recommend contacting them. But at the same time, if you know your abilities, that, hey, I have actually done something like this before, or I'm practicing and I wanna overcome it, I wanna be better, I wanna learn. When you're coming with it like where you believe in yourself and you have the courage, it's okay. And it's not like an encouragement to talk to them, but more like, if you're feeling like you're being messed with, or you want to learn, do that. But that's where I would leave it. Like, not more than like making relationships and other things. Like, actually a lot of people, and it's really weird because like, if I would go to my YouTube statistics, I've made a video about a succubus and incubus a few times. And after that, like, YouTube, well, in the tags, I don't have to put certain information, but depending on what people are looking for, people can find me if I have a similar tag. So if I if I tag succubus and incubus, and people are looking how to summon one, they're gonna find my channel or something like that. So that being said, and my tags and how people find me, back like a few months ago, I had a lot of searches on how to summon a succubus and incubus, how to have a relationship with them, how to summon a demon. And I'm looking, a lot of people are actually, let's say, are not pleased in life, where they want to have sex, they want to have relationships, they want some love and attention. They read about it online where, oh, succubus and incubus will give you that, they will give the sexual pleasure, you can have fun. And eventually people are like, damn, well, it's just a being, an energy, so why not? And they go for it. But then they really mess themselves over, where all of a sudden, that being that comes over, the succubus and incubus, it seems like fun at first, because like, oh, sexual pleasure, I actually feel like something's going on, they might have an orgasm, I'm like, yeah, it's cool. But it doesn't end there. It starts coming back every single night. And then people get to the point where they can't sleep, they're drained every single day, they have no more energy, they're afraid to fall asleep because, oh, that being will come, and they're all like living like a really messed up. So like, it's, I don't know how to describe the feeling. Like, it's disappointing or weird, but then at the same time not. Like, a lot of people are looking for that. A lot of people want to have a buddy of a succubus and incubus and any kind of demons because they're looking for friends or someone. But looking for satisfaction, they end up even dealing more damage to themselves. So it's like actually sad that this is going on. And I was surprised because like, I made a video about it once, and then there's like how to have sex with succubus, how to have sex with that. I'm like, that's a lot of people looking for certain information. And a lot of people are looking for fun, but then same people get messed over, and then they don't know what to do, and they go to nut houses, because when they start telling people about it, it's more like, you're crazy, that shit is not real, and they end up on pills and stuff like that. So I don't know, like, you gotta be careful. They're deceptive, and I, still on the same subject, stay away from entities, not worth it. Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, there are ways to deal with entities. Like, entities are different because, unlike demons, they can't really possess you. Mostly they can affect how you think and how you feel, but that's sort of where their authority or their strength ends. They can't do more than that. So like, draining your energy, like pushing some of the thoughts, like distracting you and stuff like that, that happens. It's sort of like a usual scenario. But that's sort of where it ends. And demons, they can actually deal a lot of damage to your life. They can actually sort of like, I don't, like, possessions maybe 50-50, but actually staying with you and like messing up your life and attracting even more of the bad stuff, it happens a lot. Yeah, Carson is saying instant gratification is the devil's greatest weapon after deception. 100%. This is 100%. Okay, Celtics is saying, talk about problems with getting out of body. Yeah, let's start with Celtics. Do you have any problems? Like, are you noticing any difficulties for yourself when it comes to getting out of body? Because like, there's a lot of issues, and one of the things I was actually like experimenting with Rich, and a lot has to do with our mindset. Like, Rich has this whole thing with decide and win, and it's basically, it's all about us and how we see life. Like, a lot of people are looking for satisfaction, and that, you know, like, oh, I'll be happy if I get something, and we're looking for that, those feeling states like satisfaction and happiness and like other things elsewhere. Like, we're looking for love outside and other people and our surroundings and the things we might get. But a lot of people forget that everything comes within. You know, like, everything comes from within. Your feeling states, your satisfaction. You have to love yourself. You have to be satisfied with yourself and other things, and that's like, that has a lot of impact. So that being said, we're working on a sort of like, just like getting a better picture of how things work and all. And with Rich, unlike me, he has a harder time getting out of body. And so what we're like experimenting with is decide and win, and more like, because a lot of people are trying to get out of body, they're practicing, and a lot of times it doesn't work out. You just sort of end up failing, or like, I don't remember anything, I didn't experience anything, so I didn't get out. And so we try, but eventually we end up being disappointed, like, it didn't work, and sort of like giving up, or like, just like, every single day, or every time you're trying to get out and don't see results, that sort of programming where it didn't work, it's not happening, it's like, that negative belief or experience starts building up. And it builds up with like, oh yeah, I failed, it didn't work, it didn't happen this time. And you spend a few weeks, a few months, maybe a year or two, maybe 20, 20 years, who knows. But some people spend a lot of time trying to get out of the body, and they fail. And when you fail a lot, those beliefs build up, like, it's impossible to get out, it's really hard and other things. So beliefs and everything else starts building up big time. From then on, we live our lives where we try it and we're like working our ass off and like really going for it, like, yeah, I'm gonna like do my best to get out, but it still doesn't work, because deep inside you have been programmed to believe that like it's not gonna work. It's just not happening. The same way people are like sort of thinking about like winning a lottery, like, oh, I'm gonna win $1 million and stuff like that. You know, like you buy a lottery ticket and yay, you did 5 times, 10 times, 20. Some people are like hooked on that and they buy hundreds of these. And they don't win. And like, it's just not gonna work. And they experience the loss too many times to believe that they're gonna win this time. So that thing builds up and it's a hardcore belief. And now every single time you're trying to get out or you're trying a new technique, you still have hardcore beliefs, like sort of like, it's just not gonna work, it's just gonna block you. So what I'm seeing with Reg, and the thing we're doing with Decide and Win, the more you give yourselves the wins, for example, simple things, I'm gonna decide to pick up a cup. I did it. Like, it's a win. So every single thing you can do to get a win and feel like you are the winner, like you are winning in life. For example, even making the bed, I'm gonna drink my tea and that's my mission right now. And like maybe like smallest things. You just like make a list of super small things to do. And the more you do it, like, hey, I did it, and you are basically patting yourself saying, you're good, you did that, you succeeded. And that is the most important part, because once you start thinking that you are winning, that you can do what you decide to do, you literally go to bed, you're about to fall asleep, and you're like, okay, I decide to have an out-of-body experience tonight. I'm gonna have it. And you fall asleep. But eventually you find yourself having much more vivid dreams, or literally getting out. And if you can build a mindset of like, hey, I can get out, I'm winning in life, I'm doing a lot of things, and the more wins you have in life, no matter how small they are, it starts building up in the self-confidence, like where you believe in yourself, where you know you can do things, where you know you can achieve a lot, and at the same time you give yourself that like, hey, it's possible. It is possible. I won with other things, so I can get out of body. And now, when you start believing in yourself again, that is kind of like removing the major block that you might have had. So this is just like one of the things I'm noticing. Like this whole thing about like self-perception. When we fail too much in life, it builds up that like, it's just not gonna work. Like, my life sucks. I'm never lucky. I never get anything. And people have this like tons of those beliefs. But once you're able to, it's not like necessarily get rid of it, but the more positive you get, like not just like, hey, life is good, you don't have to go there, life might suck, but to know that life sucks and you're still a winner and you're still getting somewhere and you still like yourself or love yourself, that's a really good thing. So, yeah, yes, being your own cheerleader, what Madeline says, this is exactly the thing. No one else will do it for you. You'll be super lucky if there's a person cheering for you. Like, I am super lucky having all of you saying good stuff about, like leaving good comments about what I'm doing in life. Because for me, it's a massive encouragement. But I know that eventually it has to come from within. If I'm not satisfied with my content, like, why upload it in the first place? I have to like it myself to actually, like, yeah, it's good enough. I feel like this is quality, so we go. And I feel like, this is just one of the things. You know, like, one of the biggest issues we have is we don't believe in ourselves. We don't believe it's possible. And it doesn't matter, like, if you have experienced it before or not. Simply building up the confidence. And that doesn't necessarily have to go for out of body, but whatever you do in life. It's just like, finally, when you're more, like, winning in life, with the smallest things, you start paying attention to it. Because, like, we're looking for this happiness or, like, the positivity or the good stuff in the big stuff. Like, something big has to happen. I have to win 1 million. I have to get this and this and this. And we forget that, like, man, I ate sushi today. And that was such a heaven for me. Like, I was in paradise. Like, my tongue was sort of, like, drowning in the sea of different tastes. And I was like, holy cow, this is so freaking good. I loved it. And that was, like, you know, like, just a few different pieces, and, like, my tongue was having a birthday party, or, like, you know, like, I don't know, like, New Year's evening or something. And this was, like, sort of, for me, like, I don't know, like, every single piece I had was just, like, a massive party within my system. Like, holy cow, this is so good. So, like, I was sort of, like, overflowing with happiness on how good it was, and just sort of, like, literally going to my parents' place, saying hello and bringing them stuff and spending some time with the cats. It's like, hey, my cat's doing good, hello, and just, like, petting him. Like, so I take it as good stuff in life, just sort of paying attention to small things, and then it's literally, like, you don't have to look for happiness in sort of something big. Simply how you feel every day, how you feel about yourself. Smallest things can actually be good. So for me, it helps. Because, like, I can build up myself. But, like, at the same time, easy for me to talk. Not everyone has this luxury. A lot of people end up being homeless or living with those that are, like, really triggering them. And I used to be there. I used to be in that place. So I understand how hard it can be. It's just, like, I'm super happy that thing changed. But anyway, I'm sort of, like, went sideways really fast when I was talking about OBEs, and then sort of, like, all this whole thing about ourselves. So anyway, I should sort of shift, I guess. But let's see. Gabriel, thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. Okay, so we have some people who would approve or, like, go with me playing Death Stranding. We might do that. Like, I'm not sure if we're gonna do it today, but I wanted to set up the whole thing where I connect my PS4 to my PC. So basically, we would still keep the chat and notifications in the video. It's just that, like, this whole piece, like, my background that we have, like, this thing, this whole background, it would be like PS4 game. So we'll see if we do this. I'm just saying, but I'm thinking about, like, playing Death Stranding. Not sure if I'm gonna do it today, or we'll see. But I would go for that. That's really fun game for me to play. So anyway. Let's go to more questions. We have Demon Nikki and Anthony Jones popping in. Good to see you all. Okay, Cosmos Knight is asking, what do you believe about social contracts? Are they a root cause to search to and the original imprints, like ID, passports, diplomas, and any documents that we sign? Is it worth investigating? It's a big subject. I was actually, a few days ago, I was working on a script. Like, there's this anime called The Promised Neverland. I watched it about last winter, like, when it aired. Like, it was one of the first videos I ever made, like, regarding the whole subject. And I'm mentioning this because in the anime there's a lot of self-disclosure, and one of the things is people, like, the kids who were growing in the orphan, they had, like, tags on their necks, and they had chips in their ears and other things. So there's a lot of this, like, self-disclosure of what's going on, and I was actually, like, I wanted to make a self-disclosure video. With, you know, if you have seen Banana Fish video I made, or if you have seen the one about, like, demi-human agent and all the stuff, There's a lot to it. So like I was like putting things together, and one of the parts that I was adding in is the one regarding the birth certificates, passports, and other things. There's a lot of shit going on down there. A lot. I might have the website saved up. We'll see. There was like really good info there. Not sure if they have the search engine though. Let's see. Yeah, this one. A lot of people should see this one. Let's go with... Check this one out. We're gonna move... Wait, shit. Moving something else. There we go. We're gonna... check this thing out. But basically, yeah, birth certificate and this whole thing, like, there's a lot of great info. Like, when you are born, your parents register you with the government as a corporation by receiving and signing a birth certificate. In a few years, your corporation will receive a taxpayer's ID called a social security number. This is so you can be used as a collateral for the government to acquire debt. And that's right, you and your labor, your time and energy is what backs up the national debt. So, check this website out because it has a lot of information and a lot of proof and, you know, like all the facts regarding how it all works with this little video as well. And they show like the documents and everything else, like how it all works and how you are, the moment you know you make the deal or your parents make the deal for you, it's fucked. So like check this website out, UnitedTruthSeekers.com. There's a lot of information, literally. Whatever you can catch on stream right now, and you know, like I was sort of like putting this in the Savage Disclosure video, but I was like, I have to take a break because I don't want to overdo it. Like just like keep it Savage Disclosure, not hard disclosure or whatever. But like, yeah, we'll see. So this is the website you can check out. So this is the start. There are other people who have done lots of research, and they're saying that, if I recall correctly, it was the United States Post Office that have bought the companies. And oh shit, the fuck is going on? Sorry, people. Yeah, like what I've heard so far is like the United States Post Office, like he bought up the companies that, how do I say it? Are in control of the documents, like have all the documents, like with birth certificates, passports, and everything else. It's kind of like U.S. Post Office owns it all eventually. And there are people who are talking about how every single time, like there's a signature, birth certificate, passports, and every single thing, it's like our signatures holds a massive weight. And eventually, it's kind of like tuned in or sort of like connected to this whole, how do you say it? Intergalactic trading. So every single signature, every single contract and other things connected to Vatican, like they have like a lot of this like weight over us and other things, and eventually it's all led into us being labor and sort of like items or products in the whole intergalactic trading. And so like whenever we put a signature, it's more like, okay, this person is now available for the trading. So abductions, sacrifices, other things, all the bullshit. So there's a lot of stuff, and I could actually maybe get a person to have an interview with me. I could actually talk to him and ask him tons of questions and have him explain it all, because like there's a guy who did tons of research and is trying to basically cut all the contracts, calling all the systems to basically cancel all birth certificates and stuff like that, and like calling Vatican to cancel everything to no longer be there. So there's a lot of stuff. I have myself not done that much research, but it's exactly like Salted 2 filled with agreements. There's a lot to it. So these social agreements, they do hold value. They, like soul contract agreements with the gods, with the deities, like with every single time you have to sign somewhere where things is part of it. It is part of it where we unknowingly become slaves. Like how many of you, when installing a game or a program on your phone or on your computer, there's like the whole thing with terms of service. or like terms of agreements, and you literally have to go through this massive, massive, massive page of things you have to agree to. And most people are like, fuck it, I just wanna next, play, start, install, or whatever, and they're done. They just want to get it faster, and it's more efficient. But to read the whole thing and find the details of what you're agreeing to, it's not many people do that. And so we're like, yeah, and we don't care. But eventually, just because you don't care or you don't know, it does not mean that you're still not responsible or you're still not gonna get the consequences. It's simply like, if you don't know the rules of like driving and all this stuff, it doesn't mean that like you're not gonna get like responsibility for we're speeding or other things. Like, you have to know the rules and stuff. So there's that, like, and it does hold massive value, and then you have to be careful of that. Like, cancel as much as possible, and I don't know, like, I'll try to talk to the guy. I'll try to get him on my stream and or like simply on the video, and have him expand on these subjects, because he has tons of information I should say. In Lithuania, if it's many, usually we have S on the end, so I'm used to that. Alright, let's go. What's next? What do you think about cryptocurrency? Is it a good thing, and would you invest in it? Yeah, I have not done much research on the cryptocurrency as well. Some people are saying like, hey, it's actually really good, like can't track you, like, can't control you and all this stuff. So if that's a thing, yay. Investing in it probably would be a good thing. Like, if you can make money from it and actually like benefit, yay, that would be cool. But I myself, like, I have not done research, and I'm sort of like, if I don't know about it, I don't really have an interest, so I'm not going there yet. So can't tell you much about it. Sorry, buddy. Carson is asking, or more like saying, this year has been so different from others, with the pandemic, more natural disasters, celebrity deaths, and weird energy flying all over the air. And what is the spiritual significance of the chaos of 2020? So, from my perspective, like, mainstream media has always tried to control information, and there has not been the time where people who, let's say, get back from work, they turn on TV and now they're gonna listen to the news of what happened. Like, I call my grandparents, for example, and just check on them, and so we're like, oh, like, we're just watching the news, and like, I'm like, well, grandma, did you see anything good? She's like, nah, just mainly deaths and incidents and other things. I'm like, what's the benefit of watching all the bullshit? Like, you're watching and hearing about people dying and tons of negativity, and you're more stressed out, like, oh damn, fire there, this thing there, and it sort of starts building this like tons of negativity where people are like believing and fearing about the world. So like, this whole mainstream media is like trying to control information and cause this massive chaos, massive fear, and all this stuff. And that's just the beginning. Like, Rich and I showed him like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Really good anime. Like, I'm gonna do a soft closure video about that as well, and I suggest you to watch it. It's on Netflix and other places, like I think Amazon, and just check it out. But the idea is, in like, spoiler alert, be sure to mute me if you don't want me to reveal the context of the anime, but I'm gonna talk now. So, in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, the whole thing is the military, or like more like the whole country, was formed with the idea that they are going to sacrifice people to create a philosopher's stone, simply to become immortal, to be super powerful, and all this stuff. The whole town, like the whole Central, is created, or like more like the whole country, like not just the one place, but like with the idea that they're gonna kill people, sacrifice them, all of this stuff. So in order to create the philosopher's stone in anime, you need to shed blood, because by harvesting, like by doing these blood rituals, you can only create that. And so they literally caused wars in one country and after another, killing tons of people, exterminating, like, or like just pushing them into the extinction, like certain races, and creating tons of philosopher's stones. So this, like what we see in anime, this whole bloodshed for their own betterment, it's like literally World War One and Second, and all this like wars and like nasty stuff going on. There's a lot of that. Like the whole blood sacrifice, bloodshed, and controlling people with all this stuff. Man, it's bad, Sounds like America, pretty much. But like, it's even worse. Like the whole thing we have here with pedophilia, with adrenochrome and other stuff, fucked up, you know. So they have a lot of self-disclosure regarding the entities, people being controlled, and all this stuff, and how information is controlled to have people live in fear and like sort of obey on all this stuff. So when it comes to like 2020 and all the things going on, they have been doing that for years. It's just that this year they sort of gotten a handle on it and like trying to go all in. Because like they're sort of like pretty much fucked, and they really try to squeeze out as much as possible, unless like, or like more like, otherwise they're not gonna get a chance again. And so right now they have like, hey, we have a way to mess with people, and we have to do as much as possible because there's not gonna be another chance, right? So like this whole pandemic and other things is being used to the maximum. Celebrities who are like people catching up the virus and like, oh, like a few days later, like they're all fine, like Trump and others. Sure. And like all the stats, like all the other diseases, like heart attacks and pneumonia and like flu and other things, stop existing all of a sudden. It's like, okay, we sort of beat the cancer, we beat the car accidents, no more of that. Every time someone's shot in the head, it's coronavirus, because, you know, it's like, hard to die from that and stuff, but still. So lots of people, like there's just massive pages of people sharing their experiences of like, you know, like, hey, my relative literally died from cancer, or was shot, or died from a car accident, or old age simply because they had tons of things going on already. They never had corona, but birth certificate shows that. And even like in the morgues, they're not gonna give the body if you don't sign, like, hey, if you don't approve or sign a document that they died from corona, they're not gonna get the body. You can't bury them. So like, fuck. So there's a lot of things like that. And the whole year 2020 and what we had before that, it was sort of just like building up, constantly building up. And what they're trying to do is mess with people. Because you are freaking powerful. Because you are a god-like being. Because you're consciousness. And whatever you focus on, whatever you think about, you start creating. And the whole thing is, our visuals, our thoughts can create reality. When the mainstream media shifts our focus and starts telling us one story, and everyone else in the world starts pushing one story super hard, everyone sort of like, well, if this channel and this channel and that channel, the more people are talking about the same subject, it doesn't mean it's true. But they're gonna push it, and people will eventually like, well, if a lot of people are talking about it, it must be true, I guess. So affecting our focus, or more like controlling what we focus on and how we react, causing this whole fear and hate and anxiety, and more like, oh, they'll make sure that on Thanksgiving there are no more than 10 people, and look at all the chaos and wars and people like rioting and all this stuff. Tons of bad things happening, right? And again, they make us focus on the bad stuff so that we would be the ones creating it, because they can't do it themselves. Like, more like they can just push the buttons and sort of push the figures and try to affect us. It's eventually the people, you and me and everyone else. More like we focus, we feel about things, and then we do stuff. So if 7 billion people on Earth are like more like, oh, this is like really bad, the world is going to hell, and everyone's like really like, just like we focus on the worst case scenario, 7 billion people. This is the kind of reality that we start creating. Where focus goes, energy flows. Exactly. This is the thing. So if 7 billion people start focusing on a negative and feeling negative, like living with fear and anxiety and hate and other things, we start creating that. If we're like, I don't care what mainstream media news says, I'm feeling great, I'm happy, I'm there to help people. And everyone else starts living in the same mindset where we might not agree to what others say, like regarding like mainstream media, but we ourselves know like, hey, we're gonna boost our immune system, we're gonna do things, we're gonna love each other and all the things. Yay, all's good. You know, so it's all a perspective. But for me, I think like this whole thing with the chaos and stuff, it's more like just trying to control our focus and what we feel and stuff. And like literally, man, look at China and how people are controlled with like all the cameras there, the AI, and it's pretty tight there. It's pretty tight. Positive affirmations, yeah. Like literally, gratitude, positive affirmations, taking care of yourself. Take care of yourself first. Like literally, I'm drinking tea, and I have this like very nice mixture of like lemon and garlic and ginger and honey, and for me it's like, yeah, it's like really good, really yummy. Like if I ever feel like oh, my throat hurts, or like I feel like I'm sort of getting close to a cold, this one fucking cup, it's like, and I'm done. Like, yay, good again. So it's all cool. Anyway, so this is like a bit of that about the subject, but like I'm not sure if I should expand, but I think I said enough. Ali is asking, Akvile, have you heard of a slave spirit or child spirit? Some people buy them in order to get rich, but these things tend to come with a negative side. Actually, no. Actually, I haven't heard about that, which is like interesting. Because I totally believe or buy the concept. It's just like there's tons of that stuff going on, tons, and I would not be surprised. I mean, we don't get revealed a lot. It's more like we're just like always scratching the surface, not knowing the real picture. And man, if they'll lead or like anyone else, like sort of like selling your soul or all the things that will make you rich, and like you're like, hey, I'm happy now, and because I have so much money and all this stuff, like it's not gonna work. Cosmos United is saying, I had a dream last night. I was visiting David's eye place, and there was a stormy weather on his island, and got to be by a bionic woman, or had a bionic half, and almost got to his place in a car. There we go. A bit dripping, a lot of symbolism in it. Good. So Cosmos United, like from your lucid dream, the whole experience you've had, what do you take? Like, what's your do you see any meanings or like something deeper within? Do you want to share it with us or not? Like I think it's good. Like a lot of this stuff is going on where I have a lot of people writing to me like, hey Akvile, like I had this like lucid dream and I saw you on the stage talking to a lot of people, sharing this message about like one love, we're all united, love each other, treat each other like kindly and all this stuff. And I'm like, damn, like there's another part of me doing that somewhere else. And like there's a lot of that stuff where people like us are gathering around like in the astral or in like parallel realms are working together, and this is a good sign. This is a good sign. So good. Okay, so I'm like sort of slowly scrolling down. If I'm not getting to your questions, it's because I'm still at the top reading other questions, and you know, once we go there. Okay, so Emperor Rex is saying, question. Having had a sleep apnea test, brain scan says brain activity is like working 6 jobs. I don't remember anything. Any suggestions? Did the magnesium plus. Okay, so the person goes to sleep and the brain is working like 6 jobs. It's pretty harsh. But one thing that comes to my mind is like, it's not natural. Sort of like, it would be good if you had your own suspicions, but the first thing it makes me think of is like, you're being messed with at night. Literally. You're being messed with at night, and I would suggest looking into, like, I don't know, like maybe going to hypnotherapist or others, if you have time and money and everything else. But looking into what's going on in your dream states, because some people, let's say, get their consciousness taken, abducted, and going into the clone bodies or other bodies and all this stuff, and there's a lot of this, you know, like, us being used as slaves or as soldiers, simply physical body falls asleep, they take your consciousness. It's more like in this program body where we don't really have full control, or we're sort of made to work for them or other things, and literally you can be tortured. You can have your clones or other things being messed with, and you're the ones receiving, sort of like being at the end because of the voodoo doll effect and all this stuff. So there's a lot of that stuff going on, and this whole thing, like when your brain activity is like working 6 jobs, not good. Like a lot of people are going through the night where they might have the stuff where they scratch themselves to until they bleed, or more like clenching their teeth and breaking them, or other things is happening. It's not just because of what's going on in the physical world. Like you literally might have some harsh times and like tension and like stress, but at the same time there's a lot going on in the astral. You literally might be fighting wars and coming back here, and you're like you might have had your memory wipe where you don't remember what happened throughout the night, but you're like, so it's a thing. Reach out to me, like write me an email. Write me an email, because I can look into that, see what I can find. Anthony Jones is asking, good to see you live again. I have an important question for you regarding vaccination, flu shots, etc. Are you having one, and if they make it mandatory, will you still have one? Because I'm unsure myself. No, I have not used or had any flu shots. I'm against it. I'm against vaccination myself. So even if they make it mandatory, I'm fighting back, and I would rather die than get vaccinated. Like, fuck you people. I'm not for that. So yeah, not going for it. Like, I'm against it. But then again, it's my own personal decision. A lot of people, and there was like this Russian guy who, like in Russia, he's like virusologist or virologist, basically the person that researches the viruses and stuff. So with that, the person like has a lot of studies and like a great concept of what's going on with coronavirus and everything else, and like all the other viruses and how our human body works. He was going on the live in Russia channels and having a conference, and the moment he started talking about coronavirus and how it really works, they cut him off, and he was cut off from his career, cut off and made sure he never gets live in any television, really cut off. So basically the same time, like, okay, cut off, like he doesn't have a way to reach out to people. He made this YouTube channel and started like talking about coronavirus and how it all works, and he explained that it's the biggest scam in human history, that it's all not good, like, you know, like there's no way that this vaccine is good or it's gonna work, because, you know, like, it takes years and years and years to test the vaccine to see if it has any side effects, to see if it's actually helping, and in just like less than a year to produce a vaccine and say like it's gonna help us like everyone, make it mandatory. Like, bitch, you don't even know what you're getting, you don't even know what's in it, you don't even know if it's gonna have any side effects. So that guy, like in Russia, basically explained how it's not gonna work, how it's like basically pretty bad, so don't say yes to it and stuff like that. So a lot of people are going with that information, and I would say like doing your own research is the best. There's a lot of what's being told by mainstream media, but I would suggest you to look into all these subjects and see what is best for you. I personally do not agree to these things. I don't like anything like in my body. Like the way I learned with life, if I want to build my immune system as a kid, literally like people are like, or parents are against, like, hey, don't put that thing in your mouth. And I was like, literally, there's a sand and stuff, and I'm like, I don't like it. But at the same time, like, you know, like, you get that microbes. Maybe a dog peed on the sand and it dried out, and like I actually tasted it. But at the same time, all the like little bacteria and other things that were there, my body was like, oh, okay, a new thing, let's beat it. And so my body basically adjusted, and literally, I am glad, because I'm not the person that gets sick. Like, it's been a really, really long time since I was like actually feeling unwell. And how they say in Lithuania, if you say something and you don't want it to manifest or something, or you don't want the bad results, just knock on the table or spit through your shoulder 3 times, but whatever. So yeah, so there's that. But I myself, like, I'm against it. Like, if you're wondering about it, just do your own research. Do what you think is best for you, but personally, I myself am not going with it. Madeline Grace is saying, I myself got fleas bedding, and every time I go to bed, it's like the biggest hug from the misty, loving parent. Damn, I have to look into that. Fleas bedding. Sounds good. Nice. I like that. I like some photos. Okay, this might work. Let's, might take it up. No, wrong thing. This thing. Yeah. On the right side. This one. Anyway, that being said, let's move on to the other subjects. Plumeri is asking, like, hey, Akvile, which planets should we avoid? Like, which planets that have solar traps should we avoid after we die? And for me, it's more like, I'm not that good with labels. I'm not that good, like, oh, like, look, this planet over here, it's specifically this one. I can't give you coordinates or a label of the planet, like how it's called. But simply, what you can do is, like, program yourself, like, literally, think of having like a little, I don't know, like you can literally have a phone in the astral. Like simply think like, oh, a phone or something, like a little screen where I can see the map or something. Or simply, you know how in video games you are playing and then you can access the map. So you literally see the whole thing in front of you, like it's right there, like as if you access it. So same thing, like for example, either you're out of body or your physical body dies and you drop dead, now you're in the astral. You literally can sort of like, okay, I need a map. And right in front of you, this massive map pops up. And you're like, okay, I want to find every single place that has a soul trap so that I could avoid it. Boom. And you literally program the map and like make sure that the map of the multiverse will literally show you every single place that has the soul trap, that has more entities, that has wars, that has like control and domination and archons and other things. You literally choose your settings of what you want to see in the map. So you program the map and literally you know where to go. You're like, oh, that place on the right side, it has a soul trap. I don't want to go there. I'm gonna go left. Oh, left. Damn, there's a lot of war going on. What's behind me? And then you find out like you're like tons of possibilities. And literally, you might like not just have to fly through space. This is more like just like think of a place you want to go. And for example, think about the map, right? And what kind of place you want to see? What kind of place you want to experience? So within your head or like your mind, you simply describe what it looks like. Okay, well, the planet not too big, maybe something from Dragon Ball, like King Sky place. I might find it. Yeah, there we go. So there's this planet on Dragon Ball. There we go. Like this little guy. So you can wait. There's a lot of variations, but simply you think of a place you want to visit, for example, right? And this would be the one. So literally, you think of this planet, or like, okay, so no archons, nothing bad. You program that yourself, and at that moment, you simply teleport there. You're gonna appear there, and no entities, no harsh encounters. You teleport, and you're like, okay, now what do I do? And you go somewhere else. So I would say it's pretty easy that way. So instead of me giving you labels of like, oh, avoid B5556 planet, you're like, what the fuck is that and where is it? You know, so just like simply like have this like custom map where you have your own settings and avoid anything you want. Anthony Jones is also like continuing on the vaccines regarding will the whole vaccination make everyone into AI or connect them to sort of like interface or a chip of sorts in the vax, or am I paranoid? Like it really depends what they put in the vaccine. Like we have heard about the RFID chips, and like people in Sweden are like getting chipped, and like more like they're freaking lazy. They're more like they're too lazy to carry keys in their pocket or, you know, somewhere. It's more like keys to open your car or open your doors. And you're like, well, I'm just gonna implant myself with this RFID chip so that I wouldn't have to move my keys. I'm just gonna go like this and it will open. Jesus fucking Christ, was that so fucking hard? It's like, do you need a fucking chip to clean your butthole or something? It's like, you know, for me, like, it's ridiculous. And I'm going too much into details, but still, where they have RFID chips, we also have nanotechnology, nanobots, and other things. So to make a vaccine where we could actually have, let's say, smart dust and other things in it, it's easy. Who knows? Like, we already might have it within us just from there. Depends on how detailed it goes. Like, I have not researched that much what's in the vaccine yet, but in any case, I am not interested in it. So yeah, I myself am avoiding this. Okay, so just gonna looking through the comments and seeing what you all are saying. I'm still scrolling down, but I'm seeing a comment like regarding how old am I? I'm 23. I'm still scrolling down like Envy, if you have said anything else, I'm still getting to it. and everyone else. Like, I'm still at the top, sort of scrolling down, so that I would be able to get as many people as possible. We have Vibericeria, John, A Paso. Am I a male or female? I'm a female as far as I know. I mean, I have genitals of a female. But that's where it ends. Okay, Elias is asking, can you tell me how to find my life passion career, and do you have any advices? Regarding life passion career and just like looking for the big goal and things to do in life, just put it simply, not everyone has it. It's not like everyone comes to Earth with, I'm gonna save humanity, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and you're all passionate about your goals and all this stuff. Not everyone is like that. You literally, some people come here forced. They're forced to come here on Earth. They incarnate. It's like, man, I never wanted to be here, I'm not interested in this place, so just get on with it really fast and I'm out. And so we live our lives sort of feeling suppressed, like always like dissatisfied, looking for ourselves, looking for the thing to do, but we're never there, like we're never going for it, you know. So it's a thing. So when it comes to finding your passion or career, I would say it's a lot of exploration, literally a lot of exploration, and looking for what you like. You don't have to look for something big, something grand and like fancy to do. Literally try to explore as many things as possible, because you might not know what you like yet. You might have tried, let's say, gaming or music or photography and other things, and you're like, yeah, that's okay, but not my thing. And you don't know, you might be in love with collecting Smurfs. You might be in love with actually designer and like creating your own stuff. You don't know that yet. You haven't tried it. So literally, I'm saying this because of what I've heard from Gary Vaynerchuk, and literally, Elias, I would suggest you to check out Gary Vaynerchuk. For me, he's the one that actually built my mindset to the point where I was able to like, oh, I don't have to listen to other people. I don't have to please everyone. I can be happy doing what I love to do. What? So listening to Gary Vee changed my mindset into be happy and do what you love to do. And okay, well, what if I don't know what I love to do yet? Explore. Literally. Try out as many things as possible. And it's not like you try it once for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and a day, and you're like, yeah, it's not my thing. Well, try it out longer. Maybe you haven't gotten good at it yet. But literally, like trying to audit yourself and understand yourself better. What is it that you like? What is it that you don't like? What are your benefits, or like more like values, and you know, like what is it about you? What do you like about yourself, or like what are you interested in? Like you're looking for certain things that attract you, and these goals and things that like would actually push you forward in life and like have you anything to do. Just literally exploring. For me, when I started making YouTube videos, I was so I don't know, like unhappy, or more like, well, not like unhappy. It's more like not confident. I knew like writing was my stronger side. I knew that writing for me was a good thing, and for me to talk out loud for 5 minutes was freaking hard. I never believed that I could actually talk for longer than 5 or 10 minutes. It would kill me inside, you know. And now I end up doing 3-hour streams because I enjoy talking to people. You might enjoy helping out others. You might enjoy working with animals and helping them out, and you just haven't tried it yet. You don't know it yet. So like literally trying to explore life, try out as many things as possible, and see what makes you happy. You know, the whole thing with the career and stuff, literally look for happiness. It's like some jobs might pay you 100,000 a year or even more, and you're like, yeah, I'm getting lots of money, but I'm still not that happy. It's like, do you value money more, or do you value your happiness? And literally sometimes people are like, hey, you can quit the job that gives you like fancier life, but you go work somewhere else, but literally you're happy there, at least. Like more like look into life as in like, if all the money was taken care of, if everything else, you had a perfect place to live, you had all the money in the world, what would you like to do? What would you like to work? your thing. And looking at that, like, maybe you're like, well, I actually want to be in the NBA and just, like, throw balls at other people. Or, like just give them balls and serve them, stuff like that. Like, that's a good thing to do. You know, like, it's like, a lot of things, but, like, lots of possibilities. So, like, I would literally say, like, chase happiness and things, like, you're interested in. Chase what makes you happy. So, that'd be my advice. Like, I know, for me, it was beneficial, because I sort of, like, had a lot of this, like, pushover from other people, like my grandparents, my relatives, everyone's like, you have to be a doctor, a dentist, a lawyer, like something big, something important. And I'm like, I'm really not feeling like it. I don't feel like going to college. And I was like really pushed, like, go to college, go to university. I'm like, I don't know, like, can I just like I literally was fighting for myself to like get some free time and like, hey, I don't want to go there. I want to learn certain things. I know you want me to do good in life. I know you're interested in my well-being, and you assume that by doing what you're offering me to do, I will be happy. But I don't feel that way, and that's the thing. Like, a lot of people, like, literally, we get sort of like bombarded with what's good for you, and everyone else is telling what's good for you, and you yourself are like, but I don't know if it's good for me or not. Like, you haven't tried it yet. So literally, if you had the freedom, if there was something like you would love to do for the rest of your life, what is it? What would you like to do? You know, like, sort of like looking for those things. And literally, I feel like that freedom for yourself to do what you want is the biggest thing. Like, to be free, to have your own schedule if possible. Well, that's free. But like, literally, waking up and being excited about this stuff. Like, I wake up and I'm excited to give sessions and talk to people and learn more about the multiverse, like read more books and do more streams or make videos and stuff like that. Like, I'm excited. Like, and for me, it's working. But hey, not everyone's like me, and that's okay. You don't have to be like anyone else. Like, be yourself and like look what's good for you. So that'd be a thing. Like, I'm not gonna tell you be specific thing. It's like, literally, go for happiness. And like, literally, check out Gary V. Gary Vaynerchuk is the one that can. Not everyone will like him. His mindset will not work for everyone, but I know for me, he was able to change my life tremendously, and I will be like sort of forever thankful for what he did. And I'm just gonna pull him up. Wrong one. Let's see. Here we go. I think this one. Yeah. Check out Gary Vaynerchuk. GaryV.com or Gary Vaynerchuk. Check out his things. Like, he has YouTube, he has Instagram, he has other things, tons of things that you can watch and other things. But literally, if you're looking for something, like, for advice, he will not work for everyone. But I myself have, like, my life changed tremendously because of him. And I think give him a chance. See if you like him or not. Like look up what you're interested in the channel. Like, might find a thing. You can't sleep on your back? That's okay. Like, if the topic is right now, like, I haven't, like, scrolled down to the bottom to see what you're talking people, like, about, but if some people are, like, trying to get out of body and sleeping on your back is one of the ways, I don't sleep on my back either. I don't. I sleep on my, like, left side, like, or, like, left side usually, right side sometimes, just, like, snuggling up, like, yeah, and I get out all the time. So it's not about your position. Like, it might make an impact, and it does for some people, but it's not the main thing. Like, literally, give yourself some freedom, if that's the subject I'm talking about. Whoa, this is a good question. I'm still scrolling down, but I saw this, like, one on the bottom. Car's asking, what are your ambitions for your channel going into 2021 and beyond? Big. Big. Okay, to be honest, like, man. I've been talking to my parents, like, lately, and they're in debt, right? They're in debt, and they wanna make enough money to give back to a person that lended them plenty of money to buy an apartment, and they've been trying to pay for like 10 years, and they're not even close to half. And I decided that I want to make sure that like all the money I can get, paying off the taxes and the must be expenses with all that, like whatever I can save up as much as possible, and make sure I can give it to my parents, give it all back. So like I want to record the process. I want to record of like me working and building it up and like saving up the money so that I could make them happy. Like kind of like next Mr. Beast thing, but more like just like, hey, I want my parents to be happy. Am I a great worker? No. Like literally that's the thing. My parents are. Kind of like, if I'm getting your concept right, John. But basically, yeah. My parents work like from 8 a.m. to 7, 8 p.m. Like literally 10, 12 hours a day. And they hardly together make 10,000 a year, even though they're working like at the really good jobs. Like my mom is the sort of how should I say it? Well, if you know about the clothing called Pierre Cardin, my mom is basically a salesman, but at the same time she runs one store out of like tons of that are in Lithuania or like Baltic states and all this stuff. So with that, like she gets paid a lot. She gets paid more than my dad, but still, you know, they together have to work a lot, and there's plenty. And my dad works at the logistics. He's more like the manager, telling the truckers where to go, what to do, and like mapping the roads and everything else. So there's a lot of that, and even together, like they have to pay off like utilities and other things, and just a lot of like everyday problems. And eventually, 10 years later, I even haven't gotten close to like half of the given money back. So like I want to help them out with that. At the same time, I recently created this like second channel with gaming, with anime stuff. Sort of like, I feel like this community right here on YouTube with my channel, like currently like this one, is more spiritual. So I can talk about politics, I can talk about like getting out of body, about other things, but I don't feel that freedom when playing games, or like let's say, hey, I'm gonna talk about anime. It's completely different community, and I'm like, damn, like I should actually move it. So I did, and now I feel like I'm like more able to do what I wanted, record my things, because I'm doing it anyway. I'm just sort of like not recording it, or I used to not do it, and right now I'm more like, okay, I have to translate anime because it's just like sort of a hobby and a side thing I'm doing. So translations, editing, and other things from now on are being recorded and uploaded to my other channel. Video gaming and other things. Even like I recently started reading a book 2 days ago, right? And it's basically, I'm reading in Lithuanian. Well, if I will read the English, I will record it as well, but I'm reading in my own native language, and then I'm translating a bit of what's written about, and I talk about it, and then, because it's the one, like 101 ways how to stop anxiety, I literally practice those things, and like have people watch me do the whole process, and me digest information, and sort of like talk about it as well. It's like part of the things. But I wanna go deep. Like YouTube, and something I started enjoying doing. I never thought it would actually be a thing, but I'm really liking this. I'm really liking connecting with you all, and you know, like just answering questions. And I like this right now, just like being here for you, trying to answer questions, give you as much value as possible. That's the thing. Like why I admire Gary Vee is that his mindset totally fits mine, and his mindset is give away as many things as possible. Like if he can, he will, like whatever he knows about life and how to get good and how to make money and all this stuff, he will give all of that information to you for free, not ask a penny. And I'm like, I love that. I love that. I love sharing information and not charging anything for it. And right now, even though I charge for the work I do, and you know, like just like trying to survive and make the money doing what I like, and I'm glad I can do that. And like there's a lot of this level of like a diversity with like, oh, people who are into spirituality should not make money from what they do, like because you're all spiritual and stuff like that. I'm like, shut up, I want to do what I want to do, you know. And right now, like I'm working on having my own little e-shop, like working on it to like make like Lithuanian community, Lithuanian store, have like geeky stuff here in Lithuania and all this stuff. So like a lot of that stuff. But for a YouTube channel, I want to do more content. Like I'm looking into what you're all interested in, and I want to learn as much as possible so that I can give it all to you. I can give you the information and just like give as much quality content as possible. So if you have any offers or suggestions for what I should do, what I should talk about, I'm all here for you, like learning and doing my best. So yeah, I'm having like lots of ambitions. Like I'm getting fired up. When I started like 2 years ago, like, or let's say the very first time I started, like one of the first videos I was asked to do was like 5 years from now, and I knew that like in 5 years I want to have like if I'm lucky 1,000 subs and other things, and I'm like I've reached that, and I'm like hell yeah. So I feel like I'm loving it. Ja, er zit I'm Lithuanian. So yeah. Envy's saying, good night, thank you for watching my channel, and I think I saw, like, can you start recording and archiving your live streams? Yes, my streams should be archived. I can go to my channel and see if you can actually see it. Let's check it out. Okay, quickie, before you go, if I can capture it. Wait, come on. This one, nope. I'm gonna. Okay, so this is my channel. I think if you go like at home, and then you, let's say, go to videos, if instead of uploads you can check out past live streams. So literally home, videos, and then uploads right here. You just click past live streams and you will find all the others I did, and they all should be archived. I can also save the past live streams and re-upload them as videos as well, if you would enjoy that sort of stuff. So yeah, just saying. Yeah. Hi Zach, good to see you here. Did you receive my email? I was actually like, it's really interesting. I was taking a shower today, and I was like sort of like focusing on like the progress I'm doing. And I was like, well, it's been a while since I've heard from you. And I was like, are you okay? So I haven't written an email like asking you about stuff, but then I was like myself like wondering if you're okay, because like I haven't got your response for a while. So I'm glad you're here. Anyway, scrolling back up to get more content and basically answer more questions and all this stuff. Like I had been at the bottom for a while. Okay, so let's see what we got. Envy the game is saying, I'm new to all this stuff, my mind is blown. It's a lot. Like, I'm just going sort of all in and just trying to give as much information as possible, or just to give it all back. And here's the thing, like, it takes time to digest information. Like, what you hear me talk about, listen to it, but question me. Question what I'm saying, and see what works for you. Because not everything I'm saying might be true. I'm sharing my own perspective, I'm sharing my own experience, and it's all subjective. It's what I'm experiencing in the universe and the world and all this stuff. So like, you have my experience, and that's cool. But be sure to look for other people and see what fits best for you, and focus, like, you know, like on all those things. Like, hey, Akvile might say one thing, but I don't agree with it, and that's totally good. Like I'm really glad when people are questioning things and might not agree to my content, because like it's totally fine. Like, I'm glad if people have their own opinions. So I'm sharing my own experience, but like, if you like it, great. If you don't, cool. It's all good. XPR is saying, I just brought a haunted doll. I hope I get freaked out. Buddy, good luck. Good luck. I was actually like looking into this thing. This whole subject of, let's say, I noticed like when I'm out in town or in nature or at my parents' place and stuff, I feel different. I feel like there's just tons of ideas and things I want to do, and I'm just like flowing with like all the possibilities. And I'm really getting excited about life. Because I'm just like seeing tons of things I can do, and I'm like really excited about things, and I'm repeating myself. But I know, like, when I come back to this, like specifically this room, or used to, I would be like, I'm doing my stuff, but I'm feeling more drained, more tired. And I'm like, why is that? Like, every time I leave the room, I'm like, ideas coming up. I come back here and I'm like, okay. So I'm like, hey, that's not right. So basically, I should not show you this phone. But anyway, there's this thing like where you might, lots of things to share about. You might be getting lots of goodies from other people. Like, for example, like someone gives you like, hey, here's this book and all this stuff. Well, just like I'm gonna take off my headphones for a while, but like the same way people have energy, and like let's say, hey, you might radiate with positivity, or you might actually not have that much of a good day, but you know you're just doing your best to get through life, and next thing you know, you're just like dealt with the day, and then there comes your friend, and they give you a book, or they give you a thing, and you're like, hey, thank you, bye now, and you end up like living, like being in your own environment. But the thing is, the things we touch, our energy transfers to that item. So for example, recently I've been ordering stuff from other countries because I want to open my own store here and sort of like make a different part of income, so that like I wouldn't have to charge the money from my sessions. If my project succeeds, I want to like, okay, this like my shop can be like a side thing, or like main thing, and it works, and I'm making lots of money to take care of my life. And at the same time, now I can start charging for the spiritual work I'm doing, and finally give in, like go all in, all the stuff, if that works. But ordering the stuff like around, wallpapers and other things, like man, I can pull out. But like I have like figurines, stickers, posters, and all like, other kind of stuff. And the thing is, it's coming from places where people are working and stuff, and they leave their own energy. Some people are tired, some people hate their own life, some people are like, I just hate this job and stuff like that. Their thoughts, their energy stays with the item. I get it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna put it and collect it and stuff like that. But now I come to my place, specifically because in this room, and this is my little storage place, all the little things I have are loaded with other people's energy, and I'm like, hey, it's not, it doesn't feel good. I don't feel like this is exhausting, this is draining, and that energy, their thoughts, whatever stayed with the items, is still there. So I was doing some cleanup and like taking care of the stuff, and it helped, like it helped massively. But a lot of people are actually noticing, like for example, they can be elsewhere, like doesn't matter, like away from their house, and they're feeling great, but they come back to their house, whether it's a specific room, your own apartment, your own house, all of a sudden you feel kind of like trapped, like energy is exhausted, and you don't feel too good, no more ideas, no more creativity, and you're like, oh, a lot of times we get attacked spiritually, and it's like there are ETs who can build a construct in like, or like let's say overlay our house or our apartment or a room with that. And so whenever we enter a room, the construct is sort of invisible. It's like sort of astral shape. And all of a sudden you enter your room and you're in the construct. And now the construct runs on your energy. It cannot exist until, or like unless you feed it. So if the construct is your house or your apartment or your room, it's gonna drain your energy all the time to make sure it can exist. So this whole thing is kind of like a loophole where you're trying to feel better, you're like in your room trying to rest, but it's exhausting because there is a construct that you might not be aware of draining the hell out of you. So like there's another thing to look into. Like I'm actually like sort of amazed by how much I'm finding out lately with the other ETs and other possibilities and what's going on. So yeah, I'm excited of like seeing how much I can clear up and like how my life is getting much better every single day. And with that, I want to do the same for people, just help out as much as possible. Is it possible for humans to have superpowers? Depend what you're talking about. Like, but like literally, being the superhuman is totally possible. Like, I would say, start from smaller concepts. Start from something like Wim Hof, Joe Dispenza, Tony Robbins, and just like take a bunch of people who have achieved something incredible in life. Like maybe David Goggins as well. Like some people have gone through some really hard stuff, and they learned with their body what they can do and all the possibilities. Like the breathing, controlling of the system, killing the virus within 15 minutes and other things. Like literally being in control of your brain fully. Like we're like at like I don't know, like 30, 40, 50% somewhere there. Well, like we're not retarded like monkeys and stuff. And not to not to talk bad about monkeys, but they're not that smart yet. Like compared to the intelligence, what you can do with it. I feel bad about it now. No! Monkeys are awesome. Monkeys are great. Damn. But anyway, I'm just like fucking around with the words. But still, come back to the subject. You can actually use yourself at the whole limit. Like you might have heard stories where people get in that life and death scenario where you either lift the car and escape or save someone's life. Like you're just filled up with like adrenaline and all other things, and you just make like the whole 100% of your body. So like all of these things are possible. Like depends what you're learning, and this is just like what a physical body can do. But then you can actually practice with your spiritual stuff, learning remote viewing, learning how to shift your consciousness, learning how to get within the other person, sort of like telepathy, but like literally read other people's minds, look into the past lives, other kind of stuff. All of that is possible for each and every one of you. Everyone can do that. It literally just takes time to learn and practice and do something with it. So yeah, there's tons of possibilities, but like it really depends what kind of like superpowers you're talking about and what you expect. So there's that. Marcelo is asking, why do you think evil is so desperate? They are losing their power, losing the war, or something like this? Well, there's a lot of going on in the background that we don't know about. Like, what we know is only, again, like scratching the surface. There's a lot of going on in the multiverse with a lot of wars and like all of these galactic alliances and other things. Like, there's a lot of shootouts, and like some people might watch the UFO activity, but like a lot of it is invisible because they have the tech and stuff, but not go overboard. From my OBEs and stuff, I saw that like basically those that are sort of like taking the elite positions, or those that have more control over Earth or over what happens, even though they're still the puppets, it's not the real deal. It's like basically, imagine a clone body, or a body where your consciousness simply goes in. Like what we have right now, the physical body where, okay, our consciousness is here, but when the physical body drops dead, we're out. Well, the thing is, like a lot of these people who are with the elite, everyone who's sort of like really going harsh on the humanity, they're not even here. They're not even playing the game here. It's like literally the real deal of who they are, the real stuff is out there in the multiverse. They're working with the Galactic Federations, with astral commands, with others, and they're not good. They're really not good. They're like really bad. But with all that, it's like they have their own, like let's say, oh, we're gonna have a physical body, we're just gonna take a little part of ourselves. It's like if you have heard about the Anunnaki, like Anu, Marduk, and Lil, Enki, and all the stuff, they are so advanced that literally they can have millions of bodies simultaneously and live all of them at the same time. Like you might have one aspect of you here watching my stream, another aspect of you driving a car, another aspect of you cooking dinner, another aspect of you doing other things, and there's tons of bodies with tons of different experiences, but you get that information and you control everyone simultaneously. This is that kind of advanced level that we're talking about. So the elite is here on Earth. It's like literally, it's just one little aspect of them here, one little body that the consciousness is controlling. But there's tons of others out there that they're controlling as well. And it's like, we're trying to fight back these really bad guys and fight for our freedom and fight for like betterment of the world. And they're not even here. It's like, there's like, the best way I can describe it, like, imagine watching a movie. So you see your favorite actor, or just like tons of actors, and they have a different role in lots of different movies. So simply an actor, like let's say a person in life called like, I don't know, like whoever, Joe Doe or something, like, right? So like he or she, an actor or an actress, they're doing their own stuff and they're enjoying life. And now all of a sudden they get to roll, here's the movie, play this character. You have to be like this. Okay, they're playing a movie and they're playing or portraying a bad character, and everyone starts hating the character. You're done with the movie, you're backing out, and you're no longer the character. You've played a role, but you back off. And now you get another role and you get to play a different version. Same thing with us. It's for example, like consciousness is like that aspect where we're just going into body to play a role, and then we get out and we're done. So there's a lot of that going on, and we're just like, depends how deep we go. But like this whole, you know, like people here on Earth, and specifically the ones that are more like have more abilities to control of what's going on, or like sort of control the narrative, or affect narrative. There is basically just like little version being controlled, and not even from here. So there's a lot of wars going on out there where the real deal is being targeted, and because they're losing, the parts here started to have more mistakes, to have more fallouts and stuff like that, and at the same time, there are tons of different factions. It's not like one faction called Deep State or Illuminati or something else running the world. No, there's tons of them, and they fight each other sometimes because they don't agree with their own, like, own things. But there's tons of interest. Tons of, like, one like might want to kill off humanity and have only like 5 million left. Others are like, no, like, I don't care about killing off humanity, but I do want to control them. Others want like different factions, different interests, different things to do. So with all of them playing around, we have tons of chaos because everyone is going for a different goal in at the same time, and it ends up with people being controlled and affected. So there's a lot of that going on, and yeah, like when we're talking about like why is evil so desperate? Like, well, a lot of them, like some of the factions are losing, and you know, like as they're losing, it's kind of like just like the animal that's hurt, or like before their death, like at the moment they're gonna die, they're fighting the most fiercest. Like they become like just like, if I'm dying, I'm gonna go all out. It's kind of like that. So you know, it's definitely a thing. Okay, we have Caleb Steely. He's an Illuminati agent. Ask me anything. Okay, Caleb, what's your name, last name, where are you from, your age? How much money do you have? What's your bank account number? Can we use your credit card, please? Going all in, huh? Doesn't matter. Yeah, some people think I'm a reptilian too. Controlling reality and all this stuff. Emperor Rex is saying, binging on Naruto with you, and I will email you, thanks. Naruto, I haven't watched the Shippuden version. Like, I did watch the Naruto, and that was like fun. It's fun to watch. Glad you're like catching up with it. Okay, Cosmos United is asking, Akvile, does melatonin affects your body? Does it help with lucidity or makes it harder? I myself have not like took the like melatonin supplements and everything else, but the people I have talked to that did, they did say that melatonin is helping out, that they're getting better rest, that their dreams are more vivid, that they're dreaming more often. So I would like say from like what I've heard, at least 25 people tell me, yeah, it's helping. But like I would say if you try it out, like if you try like taking melatonin supplements, take it for a little while, see if you see any changes. Like try to notice if you get anything, track it. But I don't know. You know, like I think like we also naturally get melatonin, but like didn't do that much research yet. Okay, what is the upside to lucid dreaming besides having fun? Learning. We have Envy the Gamers asking the question. I'm not sure if he is still here, but still, where yeah, where is the question? What is the upside to lucid dreaming besides having fun? And I would say like learning, literally. For example, your physical body falls asleep and you do learn to have lucid dreams. From then on, you can do much more than just have fun. It's not just like going into your favorite kind of like fantasy world or like maybe anime, gaming, movies and other kind of things. It's not just like meeting the people that you might admire here. For example, like David Icke or Markiplier or like someone else. Like you can like do all that, but it does not end here. You can also learn. simply, okay, I want to learn a new language. I want to learn how to play piano. I want to learn how to play guitar, how to box, and various things that you might want to get better at with your physical body. With that, you literally choose a goal of what specifically you would like to do, what would you like to learn, and all that. And from then on, you are like, okay, you're in the lucid dream, and now you can simply think of this massive, vast library with billions of books, with tons of information, and you access it. Like literally, you can actually go into the burnt Alexandria's library and access some documents and see what's up. You can literally, with the lucid dream, or like let's say, from lucid dream, you can build up to get into the astral or get out of body and have the real deal. And literally go into the Vatican's library or some other places that are sort of like being more controlled, and then access like a lot of information. Like so, like learning, getting better, like learning new skills and stuff. And so whatever you learn out there, you bring here. Think of, for example, Nikola Tesla. He was able to astral project and meet other beings out there, and they would give him information. They would give him the blueprints of how to do things, and because he was able to do it, he would like bring it back here, and all of a sudden he's like able to create a tech that's out of this world. It's still way too advanced for normal people. So you can use it not just to have fun, but to learn and to bring that information back. For example, like, oh well, I want to be a musician, but like I literally don't know what to write, like what music to create to and all this stuff. So you get out of body, or you're into the lucid dream, and just like Paul McCartney, you literally might hear the music, and you're like, whoa, this sounds so good. And if they have lyrics, great. If not, like just a instrumental side, but you take what you learn or like what you hear and try to replay it back here, like the drum part or like piano or like strings and all this stuff. You learn it your way, but literally the music, the lyrics and all this stuff. Like a lot of people, like let's say, that are writing the scripts for the movies, for the anime, and we see like let's say Terminator or Avatar or some other movies, and we're like, damn, this is so good. Or for example, Star Wars, like this is like some movies we watch still have a lot of information, like for example Matrix and stuff, and it's not a movie anymore. It is a documentary about what's going on, and sort of we get a lot of solid disclosure of like all of those things, but at the same time it's more like whatever we're watching, like the books we read, the movies we watch, like games we play and animes and other things like that. People that are writing the script or writing the story, they themselves might not realize that they're actually accessing their past lives, the memories from like their experience out there, and they're thinking like they're coming up with this like massive fantasy thing, like, oh, this is gonna be good and stuff, and they're so engaged in it, but at the same time they have flipped it. It's not like they're just like brilliant, that they're coming up with all these ideas. It's like literally there is nothing more new that can be created, because it's already everything we're experiencing has already been done. And so there's like tons of these things we can go in the multiverse and find and remember and bring back here, and literally you can sort of look at your past life, the more exciting ones, and literally write the story, everything that happened, and here's a script for a movie, and you might get a role, you might get paid and something like that. So like there's a lot of things that you can do, like literally writing books, writing movie scenarios, learning information, bringing back the blueprints, learning like the songs and musicals and other things, learning how to code and how to program and stuff like that. Like literally just like waking up, and already you wake up with a skill you've never had before. So that being said, like I think like there's tons of like possibilities of what to do, and it's like literally up to your creativity. Like what do you want to do in life? What do you want to get and stuff? It's not just like fun is fun, but then eventually fun becomes like, oh, okay, like I've had enough, you know, like I want something new and better. And once you start looking for that, tons of possibilities. So yeah, that being said, I can probably move on to the next question, but like that's a good one. I like that one. Okay, so I'm sort of slowly scrolling down again, just reading the comments and seeing what I could find. Okay, Celtics is asking, what's your opinion on entities with multiple copies of themselves? That's possible for most insectoid races, for non-insectoid types and all this stuff. Yeah, entities with multiple copies of themselves. It happens a lot. It's like literally, we do it too. Just we're not aware of it because we don't really might remember our other bodies or our aspects, but everyone sort of does that. It's like, how to say it? Sometimes we have like things we create and we admire, like we're just gonna create an image after that, but literally every single body that like oh, just gonna have my other aspect. Literally, when it appears, it might have your own shape and how you look like, or simply because we're conscious is more like just point of view, but then you can shape it into anything else. And from then on, you're more like, okay, what I want to do with my other bodies, what do I want to create and stuff like that. So for me, like I don't know, like what's your opinion on like entities with the multiple copies of themselves? I don't like. It's like nothing's like good, bad, right, wrong, and all this stuff. Like it's like it's just their type. Insectoids is more like they can't be that different. Like that depends on the race and all this stuff. Like I've seen planets where there's like humanoids. Like let's say kind of like human beings, but they're all the same. It's kind of like the genderless being, but looks the same, sort of like baldish and like all skin looks human. It's just like everyone has the same name, everyone has the same looks, it's just like their energy and clothing might be a bit different, but you're like, who's who and what the hell is going on? So like, it does happen, and like, there's nothing wrong with it, it's more like just like their type, so I'm not gonna expand too much on that, I guess. Donovan Bird is saying, I want to go back to being a professional magician. Oh, I would go for that. Like, so, Donovan, like, have you done anything about it? Or are you sort of thinking about it and sort of like want to build up to it and then go back to it? Because like, I think I've have you on my friend list on Facebook and I've seen your magic tricks and I like that. So, if I can support you in any way, you know, I'm here for you, buddy. Okay, Garden of Eden is asking, what do you think of Mandela effect? It kind of hit me hard, lots of changes. I remember the sun being yellow and now it's white. What if it happened and it would shift to other place? It's a massive subject. Like Mandela effect is a massive subject and it is important because every single day our thought and perception of reality is being impacted and changed, and not in the best ways. So what's going on? Like there's a lot of things. One of them is like simply think of like D-Wave computers, and like it's basically a supercomputer that can code like not just like 1, 2, but like it can take all like both possibilities and like go all in and massively. So like let's say with D-Wave computers, with CERNs and other things, they have abilities to sort of like with their programs and all the stuff to sort of like tap into other like parallel reality and take things from there and bring it back here. So it's kind of like ability to access other realities, other worlds, and go deep. But that's just like one little thing. Then we have, if you think like not just the Earth, but much more than that, we have billions of other races and places to go, and just like a lot of life out there. With all that, there are groups interested in making their life better by changing the timelines. So there's a lot of like war going on, and they are literally going to the timeline, like literally think of a string theory, or like more like a string, but it's literally a like timeline. And a lot of groups are going and trying to change the events of what's going on. So people are going back and forth. Good guys are trying to change it back. Bad guys are trying to like do what's best for them. And we have constant fight over what's going on, like what's the real scenario here on Earth. And every single day we sort of have one sort of change, like this changes, that changes. So like there's a lot of that going on. And at the same time, the government and other being like other people, they're sort of gaslighting humanity, like literally gaslighting of what we know. For example, all your life you might have like sort of like learned one thing and like you're like, this is the way I've always lived and all this stuff, and all of a sudden they say like, oh yeah, that's not true, that's like, it's just like never happened really, you're just making it up. And you're like, no, like everyone in this town was talking about it, like what the hell. And I was like, so like governments are like gaslighting people with what we know is true and all this stuff. For example, like take the I take the pandemic, all of a sudden the other diseases, some sort of like magically disappeared, and I'm glad that humanity beat them, and there's no longer of a cancer or flus and pneumonias and other things. It's just COVID, and COVID, we're gonna get through it. But other diseases that we have had for so long, and people have died through it like millions of times, it's like, well, it's just like magically disappeared. It was never a thing. And all of a sudden, it doesn't exist. Like 2021, best year ever. We beat tons of these diseases. Ain't that a great thing, right? So they're just sort of messing with our memories and what we know. It's like, oh, like, no, like, it's like, that didn't even exist in the first place. It's like, it's all COVID. So, like, like, tons of bullshitting of people. And a lot more than that. So, changing our beliefs. And it's like, don't think you're crazy. Don't think like, oh, damn, like what's wrong with me? Don't blame yourself. There's literally a lot of time wars going on, a lot of changes to our reality, and it happens, and it's even gonna get bigger, and it's gonna become more of a thing. So like, a way to beat it or something, like, I don't know, like if I should like talk about like what to do about it, but more like, just like keep in mind that we're constantly shifting the reality, constantly. Our vibration, our frequency, what we focus on will be a thing. So for example, everyone here on Earth right now is constantly being bombarded from the mainstream media and people who have been programmed already that the world is this way and this is how you have to believe things, and this is like your own new belief system. Like this is the new normal. Like, fuck you, But like we're being bombarded with that stuff. So like the whole humanity is being redirected with one type of scenario. And we're sort of being forced to believe that, and like, oh, it's a thing because everyone else is saying it, so you have to agree with it and all this stuff. It's like, it's a thing, right? So everyone pushing that sort of thing. We have tons of negativity because we know, like, hey, it's not true. I know what's going on. I've read about it. There's like tons of people saying the real deal, but I see the mainstream media not agreeing with me. So what the hell, Sort of, we're looking for the truth, and there's a lot of this like there's a lot of like people who are annoyed, who are angry, who are hateful, who are like focusing on like those that are obeying what the governments are saying. And they end up sort of like being programmed and living in fear, and like literally going out and like if you don't wear a mask, people are like, oh, put on your mask, get away from me, and all this stuff. They get so crazy. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like they're just like too bad. So like these people are living with all that fear, sort of like, oh my god, I'm gonna die and all this stuff. Like, Jesus. So all that frequency of everyone else collectively now focusing on one thing. And so when people are doing good, their frequency rises. And like how, for example, if you're like this, right? For example, this is your body or this is your energy, right? And so a fly, or more like the entity, when you're not doing so good in life, when your life is depressed or like everything's going sideways and stuff, and you are not like doing so good, your vibration is like this. It's barely gonna move, and they will come here and tap onto you and mess with you even more. But at the same time, the more and the better you do, your frequency is like this, and the entity or the being that wants to attack you can't really get close because they constantly get beat off. So now what's going on in the whole 2021, or like 2020, I'm actually sorry, we have a lot of these people pushing one scenario and bringing humanity to the point where we're not moving. When tons of people are sort of collectively start having same vibration, same frequency, and we're not doing good and we're focusing on one bad scenario, all these people are jumping into a different reality first. Right now we suddenly like jump into the different parallel reality where things are a bit worse, where things are not doing so good, and all of a sudden we're experiencing things differently because in this reality some of the things are different. Like it's not just our vibration and how things are, but it's literally what we see in life, and the things we're like our surroundings are changing all around us. And some people that have, like, let's say 2012 is gonna be a big thing, end of the world and all this stuff. Like, oh, some people were going crazy and like trying to think of how to survive and like what's gonna happen. And people that believed that they will died in 2012. But people who were like, just like, I don't care, I'm gonna live. So two different groups. Those who believe that like they're gonna die lives here. Those who believe that they're not gonna die lives here. And two different realities. They died, we didn't. And so, same thing. We're being bombarded with all the stuff that's going on and made to focus on the negative. But we're like, yeah, I know you're lying, and I'm gonna take care of myself, and I'm gonna be happy, and you just like create your own reality and what you want to see. Your vibration is different, and the reality you're gonna experience will be different than theirs. And so, it's a constant thing. It's like constant jumping into different realities and waking up, and like life is different, you know. So there's a lot of things going on, but like our memories are being changed. We're being impacted all the time, and it's like it's good to pay attention. It is good to pay attention. But anyway, there's a lot more about this subject, but sort of like I would like to give my time to other people as well. So just moving on, but you know, this is something to talk about, definitely. So maybe another video or something. Okay, so I'm like back into reading comments and looking for the next question that I can answer. Okay, so there's people asking if I can sort of record and archive the streams, and here's the question. These live streams, they're recorded there's a section like not just like all the uploads of my videos, but you can also like check out the live streams. Should I take the whole video, for example, like the whole 2-3 hour thing that I will make, and at the same time Scratch. I got your comment and you distract me, but I'll get to you soon. Anyway, back to the subject. So I can sort of like download like the whole stream and upload it on the main, as in like uploaded video, and maybe I could like put timing, like timestamps. So would you like me to sort of like upload the whole live stream as a video by itself, or would you like just like fuck it, I'm just gonna go and check like past live streams? So whichever way is best for you, I can totally do that, like whatever fits you. And at the same time, if I stream, I cut off, like, so for example, if I stream for 3 hours, I will go through the stream and cut out the parts that I did and re-upload it as just like Q&A without the additional reading comments and other things. Okay, so Lentavanus is saying, Akvile, can you go to Akashic Records whenever you want and know everything? Yes. Regarding the Akashic Records, each and every one of you can access it. Each and every one of you can access your Akashic Records, look through the history of everything you have ever experienced, your past lives. For me, I can show you this like little segment. I've did it before, but for me, just like perfect example, because this is how I'm seeing it. And let's see. Yeah, I'm just gonna find one scene in the anime because, like, for me, it portrays everything just so well. Let's see if I can find it quickly. It's just a scene of like a kind of like frame, and you sort of are able to recall your past lives and other things. So I just want to find it. Good luck though. Good luck finding it. I can probably pull it out and have you help me search. So I'm just sort of like just jumping through this one thing, because like there was this... Wait, maybe there? Yeah, it's getting closer. It's kind of like... yeah, there we go, perfect. Okay, so... yeah, and this is my anime website. I got another chance to show it off. Yay! So, we're almost there. Almost there. Come on. I don't want to skip too much because, yeah. There we go. So think of this as the Akashic records. Literally, every single frame is like the life you have had before, the life you have ever experienced. And with this, you literally access like, okay, like frame 3 will be your third lifetime ever in your existence. And there's just like the zillions, like tons of these different lifetimes, tons of these like things that have happened. And literally, one thing I would suggest doing, like either you're out of body or you're just like doing your own practice and stuff. You simply, for me, I think of it as a frame because this is how I always see it. And then I saw the anime, like, damn, this is exactly what I'm seeing. So for like, I was like really happy because it just works. But there's tons of different ways. So for me, I choose the whole movie reel like as a frame. So Akashic records for me will take that kind of shape, and then each frame is my lifetime, and whether I'm going 50,000 years back or a billion or trillion or like however like much more, each single frame will be like this lifetime, this lifetime, this lifetime, this lifetime, and I can have everything. I look at the frame, and this is like, okay, this is my like maybe 5 billion lifetime here on, let's say, 4th dimension, like just like whatever, and I'm gonna click on this or like simply select it, and I'm sort of like my consciousness will be drawn into the frame, and now I am simply a point of view seeing my whole life. Everything that has ever happened in that life on the like 4th dimension, I'm just gonna look through the whole thing. Birth, or like how did I come here, what did I experience, how long did it last, all the events, every single relationship, every single thing I have ever felt, thought, and ever did and say, and all the stuff. It's all recorded, it's all like there. So you literally can access every single one of your past lives. You can sort of remember who you were, what you did, how did you originate, like how did it all start. And that's why I feel more confident making these videos, because I have seen it. And because like I sort of have my own understanding. It's like, oh yeah, like sort of I see it, this is how I understand it, and I feel free to share about it. But it doesn't mean that I know it all. It's more like, okay, this is the life of my head, boom, drop of information. But that's just my point of view, my subjective opinion, and all this stuff. Like sort of, it doesn't mean that like everything is a real deal, but I think like each and every one of you can actually access your Akashic records. Mine is in a like this like whole movie reel like, with tons of frames. Others might have like books. For example, you are in this massive, vast library, and you pull out a book, and like you're looking for like, okay, so you might have this whole like tons of like, let's say, archives and sections from A to Z, and numbers and stuff like that, and you're like, okay, like I want to see a past life where I had the relationship with my twin soul, or like maybe where I was a pirate, or maybe where I was this, and suddenly you're looking for category with specifics, and then as you're walking through the whole library, you're looking for like, oh, I wanted to check this thing out, and now you choose specific category, specific thing, you pull out the book, you open it, and you don't have to read it. It's like literally just opening it. It's kind of like photographic memory, where you can just like literally scroll through the pages, and your consciousness can be drawn into the whole lifetime where you are simply a point of view, seeing everything that's going on in the background. So you're seeing yourself, but you're seeing everyone else, and you get the whole picture of what's going on. So that's a thing, and you might try it out. So like can you go take Akashic records whenever you want and know everything? Totally, this is totally possible. A lot of people are having a harder time with it because we're being blocked. Even though we can do it and it's totally possible, there are groups that are like, they don't want us to know that stuff. They don't want remembering who we really are, to remember the real scenario or like the bigger picture. So they're constantly trying to limit our abilities to make sure we don't get out of our body. Or you might have a lot of present time problems, for example, relatives or maybe people around you, maybe stuff at work, and just like constant problems where we focus here on Earth on like tons of things, and we're like trying to deal with life, and there's no time or way for you to go and actually check things out. But if you can deal with present stuff, you can definitely deal and like back like, hey, now I have control of myself, and I can actually access my other lifetimes and see what I experience. Having this, you can also check out the other people like past lives, or like maybe like access other beings, Akashic records. Not just yourself, but you can do it for others as well. So like lots of possibilities. I know like let's say those who are more in control and domination, they even tend to abduct people and try to torture us and basically get us into the point where we're not moving, and with their own tech they access our Akashic or our Akashic records, seeing everything about our existence and everything we have gone through. A lot of that is basically, okay, they know who you are, they know your capabilities, they know what you did in the past, and because of that knowledge, they will make sure that they will create the sort of system that will control your life, that will not allow you to do certain things. And now you're limited, you're stuck, you're not going anywhere in life, you're not winning, and tons of things build up, and they sort of like have that sort of control. So a lot of things happens in betweens, but we definitely have the abilities. So that being said, I should wrap it up and move on to the other questions. Illuminatrix is saying, love Akvile, really appreciate what you do. I have a podcast called Illuminating the Matrix, would love to have you on an episode if you're interested. I'm totally up for it. I'm really excited that you think I could bring some value. So like just like reach out to me, like I don't know, like write me an email or anything, and I'm all up for it. Like if I can give you any possible value with the content I have, I'm totally up for it. And each and every one of you, if you people have a channel and you think that like, hey, I would like to talk to Akvile as a guest, I'm up for it. Just saying, I'm all open. At least on the podcast and videos and stuff like that. Some of them, my hair are shorter, so they're like getting in my face and they're tickling my nose and like, you know, like it's a thing. But anyway. Yeah, like let's check it out. And everyone else, like we're talking about Illuminatrix. I think this is the person that, like, yeah, this person that invited me into the podcast, or like just make an episode. Here, you can find the episode, Illuminatrix. Check this person out. Lots of topics. So watch it. Watch it. If you want to check things out. I like it. I like it. It's good. Anyway, that being said, let's go back to. I wish I could scratch your nose. Help me move that, please. Okay, Enrique is saying, I'm dealing with lots of serious back pain right now, and that's forcing me to not be able to think in anything else. It's horrible. Enrique, I think you did write me an email. I'm just gonna look at my email list. Yeah, I got your email. I'll try to get back to you either today or tomorrow regarding that, and I can do a session. It's important. I know, like the back pain. I work with people who had like some serious stuff and like clearly accessing past lives, or like simply things they did not know that happened, like with their astral body. Like our astral bodies can work, or other astral bodies and other aspects can work like voodoo dolls. So whatever happens to our other parts, whether they're being messed with, implanted, and all this stuff, can actually, the side effects or like whatever happens come to us. It's kind of like a bleed-through effect. And then there's a whole lot more that's going on with the past lives. Even in today's session, it's like I just like want to mention it because like, why not? It's important to pay attention to what kind of pain and issues we have in this life. For example, like simply focusing on your physical body and everything from your birth to this current moment, anything that has happened that had to deal, or like that had an impact on your physical body being in pain. Whether it was a headache, whether you had a throat ache, whether you hurt your back, whether you said sometime. Damn, I just like thought of a thing. When I was a kid, like there was like this kindergarten or just like simple like place for kids to play around now. And I didn't go to kindergarten, but like just like a side thing, just like playing around inside. They had these like kind of like metal rails, and they're kind of like that, like shaped like that, and just like one rail, second rail, third rail, and it's kind of like it's just like metal shoved into the ground. And I was climbing, like walking over these, and I slipped and I fell and I hit my cheekbone like right here, and it was bad to the point where like I was like swelling, and like, you know, you look like you have this whole thing on the eye and all this stuff. And then my brother, when I was a kid, he was playing around, and he was swinging a hammer, and it slipped, and the hammer really hit me like there. So like I literally had like at least two instances where I really hit like my cheek, like here, like really hard. And like thinking about this, I never thought about this before, but I'm like wondering if it could actually be the part of my myopia or like not seeing so well. Like it doesn't do the damage to the eyes, but at the same time, the pain I had at the moment, for example, the pain of like falling down, like ow, I hurt myself and it hurts, and that moment where I'm unconscious for a few seconds and I'm really in pain, well, there's a few things. One is when you are in pain and you're unconscious, or like just even for a few seconds, you step on something like ow, and like the whole moment of ow, it hurts, you focus all your attention on the physical body part that you have hurt and that's in pain, and you're not really focusing on the background. So one, that sort of like pain might trigger whatever has happened in your past life. For example, in the past life, like let's say if here I actually fell down on my face and hit like these like places or like whatever happened, but I had damage right here. In the past life, I might have been shot with a gun, or like with the shotgun, and I lost my eyes or something. And there's a lot of things that could have happened. And I'm getting like, I think I'm getting tons of reads of what might have happened in the past, which like I'm actually excited to explore this thing, because it might have some good changes. But I'm talking about the eyes. But for example, I'll take a simple example. So being a girl, I like, you know, like, and getting a period, I used to get like really bad cramps, and it would hurt me so much that like I could not move. Like standing, sitting, laying down, it hurts like hell, and I would like actually like sort of like, I want to die. Like I don't want to do anything else because it's so freaking bad, right? So like for me, it was like really overwhelming, and I had like a really hard time handling it. And then it moves over. It's not just like the cramps on the stomach, but then it can move to your legs, to your back, like whatever. Like it just like moves all over the place. And with that, like for me, like periods, I really hated them because it was really hard to handle. And just like recently, about a year ago or so, I did a session on the period. I'm like, okay, like I really get this like really bad lower stomach pain. So focusing on that, I looked into my past lives. In my past lives, what has happened to hurt my stomach, to make me sort of like have the similar pain? And I'm like, oh yeah, well, I have been stabbed with the sword. I have felt and sort of been strapped through the wires and like really hit me. I have been, let's say, there's this massive shootout on the spaceships, and all of a sudden I end up hanging on the things, like not being able to move and all this stuff. And there's a part where, let's say, my astral body is like out there in the multiverse, and I get captured in this sort of like astral box, unable to move, and it's constantly squeezing and like sort of like squishing me to the point where my whole body sort of like squeezing to sort of fit in the structure, and at the same time might have like a little bit of scoliosis. So looking into this whole thing, like being stuck in the structure, sort of like being deformed, and at the same time there was this sort of like extra astral cord piercing the whole thing and piercing me, and that caused massive pain. So like finding all of these incidents I have had through the past lives of what has happened, what I have experienced and stuff like that, and simply looking sort of like, okay, this is the pain that has happened and stuff like that, just going through it and clearing out the trauma. Like I will still have the full memory of what has happened, but the trauma, the decisions, the other things that happened that sort of became a program and bled through, I take care of it. And since then, I don't have period pain. I don't have cramp pain. And my whole body posture and like the way I am and my scoliosis is getting much like sort of like my back is getting straighter and better, and I'm happy. So sort of thinking about these things. One is like, if you look through your life from the birth until the current moment, every single time you might have hurt yourself, there might be a thing where you hurt yourself, and whether you accidentally shut your finger somewhere where you're not supposed to and it really hurt, or you cut yourself, or you fell down somewhere, or something happened, the physical body pain might sort of like trigger the memory of the past life. While you yourself might not be aware of it, let's say your subconscious is like, oh, the same thing happened there. And now with the memory, the thing bleeds through. It's whatever has happened in the past lives, it bleeds through the current one, where if you had pain back then and it was like really bad, it's only sort of like increasing the pain here, and it just becomes worse and worse and worse. With that, it sort of builds up, and it, like for example, you might actually like accidentally tapped a little thing and it hurt, but it recalls a like sort of like passive memory where, because of the incident where you hurt your hand, you just can't do that much with your right hand anymore, or can't move properly or other things, and builds up to the point where something happens, and that trigger from the past life where you recall a thing ends up with the bleed-through effect, where whatever issue or decision you have had in the past life, for example, I'm just gonna not move as much, or like I'm gonna relax, all of a sudden it becomes like a hypnotic command, and it works in controlling your life, where you either have increased pain, or your body starts acting differently, or you yourself start changing. So the moment where all this happened and boom, all of a sudden like it changes and stuff. That's one thing. But it doesn't end there. Like with the past lives, it's so interesting because, for example, I should explore my own life a bit more. But like, let's say you hurt yourself, right? And the moment of unconsciousness and pain is not only the possible trigger of your own past life, while you're fully sort of like, ow, it hurts, and your whole attention goes into the body hurt, the body part that is being like this, that's in pain. Everything going on in the background might act as a hypnotic command. So whether there are people in the background and they might be talking to each other, whether there's radio playing or TV or some movie and stuff, anything that happens in the background while you are in pain becomes a hypnotic command. And for example, you might, I was working with a client today, and as a baby, like doctors accidentally dropped him and he fell on the head. So baby fell on the floor. Looking into this whole incident, there's a part where you're like, oh, he fell down. And so this is just like one little thing that has happened. And it's not just like, oh, he fell down, but it becomes a hypnotic command of falling down. And it does not mean to fall down and constantly sort of like be slapping on earth. It means that falling down is more like you're never gonna go up, you're never gonna go rise. You're always falling down because you're gonna fail in life and you're not gonna succeed and you're not gonna go anywhere. Maybe you're trying to like let's say you have your music and you're gonna release it and people don't like it. Maybe you're trying other things and you're just like constantly falling down and like failing and it's just not succeeding. And that's just one thing. Maybe doctors are like, oh, I'm holding up, like the baby just accidentally slipped. He slipped. And maybe they're saying certain phrases that become a hypnotic command, like he slipped. So all of a sudden, things you have in life and hold dear slips away from you. Like that thing slips. And whether you're holding your career, whether you're holding a relationship, whether you're holding like other things, they disappear, and all of a sudden you have nothing left and you feel empty. Like no matter what you do, there's nothing you can have in your life because everything sort of like leaves you, disappears, you lose it all, and it's like, what the hell is wrong with me? What's wrong with my life? And this is just like a subconscious command playing in the background because at some point in life you have experienced pain and something in the background became like sort of like a target to control your life. So this is a massive subject. If literally we were to track everything that happened when we were babies until the current moment, every single time we sort of got hurt or something happened, we sort of like think about the pain and not just scan for, you know, like just like the current moment, like okay, like it's just that pain, but looking through life and like all the failures and everything that's going on in the backgrounds, it becomes like commands, and if we can remove them, your life is freed from that stuff, and all of a sudden you have more control. So that being said, there's a lot to it. Like this whole thing regarding, you know, past lives, it's a massive subject, and there's tons of things that can be done and should be done, and I don't know, just like I'm gonna practice more of this whole like past life regression thing where like I could do this sort of like, I don't know, like 1 hour one-on-one face-to-face like on camera and stuff, and just give you commands and guide you through the incidents where you yourself could recall things, because like it's easy for me to sort of look into what you have experienced and tell you all about it, but I want you yourself recalling that, because that's the magic. But when you yourself are able to experience it and see it with your own eyes and stuff, the whole different understanding. So with that, you know, like I just want to get better so that I could give you that stuff. Like it's not just like, it's easy for me to talk, but I want to provide it to you. So like I have something to work on, and that's something I'm excited about. So yeah, just throwing it out there. Like when it comes to, like, you'll say we're looking at Enrique and him having the back pain. There's a lot of stuff that has happened in your past, and like this is like, it's not just like the current thing, but there's much more. So, you know, if you I'm gonna like read your email and write back to you, but feel free to sort of like take your time and like let me know like when did that back pain started, when it all started, like where is it going and stuff like that. Because like for example, like yeah, I shouldn't go. I'm going, like, I feel like I'm maybe, I don't know, like not going too deep, but just like rambling too much, or like not giving you quality content, or like just going sideways maybe. I don't know. But anyway, like I should carry on with answering more questions. Okay, let's see. Multiverse, organic or artificial? Ah, good one. So basically, I would say, if you were to create it, if you were yourself to imagine the multiverse and you yourself created this whole thing, would you call it organic or artificial? because it's sort of man-made, and man-made being every single one of us as a consciousness, we're able to create absolutely everything simply focusing on one thing, and boom, you create it. So as a consciousness, the whole multiverse, every single one of you can create tons of possible realms and worlds. And for example, all of you are sort of doing it already. You might sort of like go through your life and you're like, I don't enjoy my life too much. Like, this thing sucks, this thing sucks. And then we end up sort of daydreaming at some point. And we think of this possible better world with like, if I'd had this girl and this babe would do this and stuff. And you're sort of creating the scenario in your paradise island where there's some fun stuff going on. It's all fun and all. You already created a realm that has a beach in it and there's like this whole like sex thing maybe going on or some romance and stuff like that. You already did it. So is it organic or is it artificial? How would you say it, you know? And each and every one of us, like maybe you're like, well, if I had a dog, we would go for walks and you would just sort of like, you just daydream and draw your journey. But it's not just like daydreaming and imagining things. You are creating, because imagination, it is creation. So it's not just like, oh, I make it up. No. You are creating it already. So in each and every one of us, whatever we're focusing on, simply like sort of like daydreaming about certain things, and like fantasizing and all this stuff. Every single fantasy is already a creation. Is it organic or is it artificial? So like I'm coming back at you because consciousness creates things all the time. And whatever you're focusing on, for example, you look at this world and like, this place sucks. In a better world, and then you create Earth scenario with a different stuff. And we wonder, why are there so many Earth versions? Why are there so many different ones? Well, imagine 7 billion people living here, and they don't like life, so they create their own version of Earth. And each day, they create a bit differently. So now we have not just 7 billion copies, but it moves into trillions and quintillions and like, whoa, like there's like lots. Which one do you want to tune into, you know? So we do it all the time. So like, I would say it's like, it's more organic. It's not like born on its own, but it has been created by the consciousness all along, and you're doing it all the time. So, yeah. Okay, Zach is regarding response and email. I don't think I got your email. There it is. Okay. Yeah, I think I got it. Yeah, I got it. All right. What a sweet cat. Oh, I love it. Okay. I'm not gonna show the email, but I'm just gonna open up the cat. Oh man, come on, like people, look. Oh, I love cats and dogs and all that stuff. It's just like, yeah, what a cutie. Yeah, anyway, just wanted to share this thing. Makes me feel good. I love animals. Saw my cat today. He's an awesome boy. By the way, people. Commercial. I'm out of tea. Well, kinda. My tea is like with, like I said, mentioned earlier. It has like lemon, ginger, garlic, and honey. So that there's a lot of stuff left at the bottom, and I can drink and eat at the same time. PA is mentioning, like, I think like it's regarding the possible content from my channel and stuff. Videos on your top anime series. Yeah, if I make I think if I'm gonna make content that does include, let's say, videos on my favorite anime series or favorite games and all this stuff, I don't know. I don't know if I thought I'm gonna, like, I would make it for my other channel that has more to do with anime and stuff like that. But at the same time, I know myself, and I could actually like talk a lot about self-disclosure, about like what's going on, like why I like this anime, and share some messages. So like that'd be a thing. I don't know, like if I was to talk about, like, let's say anime, like with self-disclosure, would you like rather watch it on this channel or the other channel? Like, it's always a question. Okay, Lentovalis is asking, what does it help to destroy evil entities in an out-of-body world? So, for example, when you get out of body and you meet some entities, not all of them are actually bad. Not all of them are actually really willing to target you, because it's just like, think of some person, a consciousness who has been going sort of like down the spiral and sort of like losing themselves to the point where they lost it all and they became an entity, and they can't do stuff anymore. There's a lot of that going on, but those that are, let's say, evil entities, I should focus on that. So, like, what does it help to destroy evil entities when you're out of body? So when you're out of body and you meet evil entities, you will stop them from actually affecting other people. For example, you might like meet tons of clusters who are into depression or distraction. For example, you might have certain interests in your day-to-day life, and then it's more like, okay, this is the thing I want to do, and you sort of like, you're focused and you're gonna do this thing, like whatever you're like are about, and all of a sudden, like, next thing you notice, you are like on your phone on different websites doing something different than you intended. So with this, a lot of entities are actually sort of like implanting thoughts and feeling states within. So you might want to do one thing in life, and all of a sudden you get this like, oh, I'm just gonna do this, like, and you get this intention. And a lot of times, even these entities, they get a way to mess other people's relationships. For example, like people have a great relationship, or just like people are like together, and entities will affect one party to act a certain way that will trigger this person, and they're constantly being played with, and certain phrases will pop out that will trigger the other actions and things, like, oh, like they have rules to not do certain things, and entities will create the urge to like do this, and they're like, oh yeah, I feel like I should do this, and the person didn't feel it in the first way, but then the entities affect the person. So like destroying them in the out of body, or simply transmuting them, taking care of them, whichever way you want to put it, you get rid of the problems and other people don't get them. But at the same time, we should sort of like keep in mind that there's tons of them. This is kind of like never ending, because like a lot of these entities are sort of like are also being sort of made by other races to mess with people, and it's kind of like one of their technologies and other things. So there's a lot to it, but like it does help. It does help yourself to be free from this. It does help others, and then there's the side effects. It's like the more you fight back, the more of a target you become, because like they see you as dangerous, like they see you as a threat, and they want to deal with you, and you end up being attacked in some sort of ways. Usually like sort of like psychologically, emotionally, where they're trying to get to you in your physical life, and maybe if they can't harm you, they will try to use people around you to say certain things, to do certain things that will trigger you, and you know, this is why like a lot of people like we notice, like, we work on ourselves, we're trying to do certain things, and it just seems like no matter how much you work, you're feeling great one day, and then there's the crash the other day. So there's a lot of that going on, and simply, hey, you did great, and as you're going up in life, you catch a lot of attention by pissing off some beings, and they're like, we have to deal with this person, we have to put them down, and sort of it's a constant like roller coaster, because we fight back, we do better, and then they target us, and then we crash, and then we try to deal with it, and we're like up and down, up and down, up and down. It's like a never-ending fight that they try to trigger us, mess with us, stop us, and then we fight back, and they're like, we're losing, so we have to do something else, and it's a thing. But we can win, simply, you know, like taking care, not just by the entities, but simply use the entities to track down the hierarchy. Okay, and some entities are messing with you, but who are they? Who's above them? Who's their leader? And so as you start going with the whole hierarchy, you will find the big boss, or like whoever they are, and taking care of them, making a deal with them, like whichever way you choose to deal with the party. Once you are done, the whole side that were like targeting you or others back off. And depending on how you deal with it, like whether destroying them or you make a deal and stuff like that, it really depends, but you can definitely win the fight, and like there's a lot that can go on. So I should wrap this one up and go to the other questions. Gospel and Nobody is saying, if you're a teenager, that's the only time you're going to lucid dream. Laying in bed too long in that half-wake sleep state. You're not getting that when you're an adult. No company CEOs lucid dream. I like that you share your experience, but at the same time, I have tons of people who are over 50, 60, 70 that do dream, that do have very vivid dreams, that do get out of body and in the astral. So I would say it really depends on who you are as a person, what kind of work you do. And it's not like you're like doing nothing and expecting the results. Like people are putting some work in, and even though they're over 50, 40, 70 and all the stuff, they do get out, they do get tons of results. So like really depends on each and every one of you. Like how much work are you willing to put in to get some results. Oh, there's a lot of people chatting it up. Like, I'm still scrolling down, and my chat actually just bumped down, and like, whoa, there's a lot of stuff down there. Tiltil is asking, do we reincarnate only through bloodlines? No. Like, literally, bloodlines have nothing to do with it, unless it's more like some of them might be more controlled and affected to the point where if you are born in a certain, like, or with a certain bloodline, then they will be able to mess with you more, control you more and all this stuff. Like, they literally are picky, and a lot of people are born in the, let's say, families, like, powerful beings who have done a lot of things in their past are usually born with those that are in power. For example, being born in Mason families, ending up being sort of like subject to the sexual abuse, to the raping, and being like part of this whole sacrificing thing. Like, I have tons of clients who are in the families, where like daughter or son of those who are like with the Masons who were the victims of MK Ultra, and the parent was working with the MK Ultra project, like messing with people, and the child was the subject to it as well, because why not? So like there's a lot to it, but like really depends. The bloodlines are sort of like side thing. It's more like who you are as a being, and what's your past, what's your history, what you're all about, and when they see you for who you really are, then they decide what to do with you. So like sometimes people, let's say, get on Earth and they can choose where they're gonna come and like what they're gonna do and all, but a lot of times people are sort of like even forced to incarnate here on Earth against their own free will. They get into like lots of soul traps or like various machines and other things, and it's being a victim. It's not like everyone comes here with a purpose and like, I want to be here on Earth and do something. No. A lot of people are actually pushed here against their own free will, so that happens. Sanders is saying, felt a big shift when Akvile destroyed the Anunnaki machines attacking us. Hope she does more of these videos. More of those on video. Yeah. Good. I'm glad you shared this, Santos. We could do one thing where I can create, I don't know, a form or maybe like an email thing where a lot of you write me, or like I was thinking about it before, simply like taking this picture of like, let's say, human outline or like a human body outline. And a lot of you can actually write with what kind of physical problems are you having. Do you have a backache? Do you have headaches? Do you have myopia? Other sort of things. Literally choosing subjects where more people have issues with that. I'm not saying like I would not address like lesser ones, but like simply seeing what people want, what people have issues with. I could actually like, okay, certain people, like maybe 5 people wrote to me that they have headaches or other things, and I saw like, okay, more common item, and I can make a video like doing the whole scan, and not just one but maybe a few, like covering more of these topics, like regarding going into more of the headaches and other things that are like important to you, that you're experiencing in your day-to-day life. Covering this stuff, I would think like a lot of you can get wins. One of the things is like me doing the thing and you're like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna get the results, but a lot of you, when listening to this whole thing I'm talking about, like to my experience, you don't have to believe what I'm saying. You have the lie detector within you already. So when you're listening, deep within, you will be able to pick it up if it's real or not. And deep within, you're like, yeah, I can sort of relate to it. Like, it sounds familiar. And just because you sort of pick it up and on your end, without really going like, okay, like I don't really care what Akvile says, but like what she says, I on my own end, I pick up on it. And your relation, subconscious like relation, will help you to sort of like connect the subject, and now that you know that it is true in your reality, for example, we take care of the problem and you are no longer the victim of it. So that would be a thing. And I think it's important. I think it's important for us to sort of gather up what kind of issues are all of you going through. Like, you know, like, do you have heartaches? Do you have like myopia or like other things you're going through? I'm gonna, I don't know, like maybe fill out a thing on the website or something and sort of create a form so more of you could give me info, or you can simply write me emails and pick some more common items. I don't know like how I'm gonna do it yet, but like yeah, gathering up like information about your issues, or I might just make a video and have tons of you just comment under the video. That would be a thing as well. But literally gathering up the things to address and literally doing like sessions and then, you know, like uploading it so that you would see what's going on and like see if you actually feel any changes after that. Like some experiment to do. So yeah, just mentioning. Okay, 10. Regarding Discord, let's see. Discord messages. 10. Write me another message on Discord. And were you writing on Akvile or Hutai? Because depending on which one you try to reach out to, I'll be able to see if I got it. So yeah, write me another message on Discord, I don't know, in a private, or simply send me an email, and I'll see if I can get to you. There's a lot of stuff going on Discord as well. I'm like, what the hell are people talking about right here? It's been a while since I've been there. I'll have to look into that stuff later. Damn. Stay away from that stuff for a while. You wrote on Hutai, yeah. Zarseed, I noticed you have wrote on the anime sub Discord. When you write to me, yeah, I'm Hutai, but the thing is, if you write on the main, be careful, because this is like Lithuanian community and I'm not the only person in charge. So people who were like, hey, we have people from abroad and what are they doing, and are they about anime or are they about something else? Like you might get kicked out because someone like thinks like, hey, you're outsider and stuff like that. So be sure to just write to me in person, and you know, I'll be able to notice you like and get back to you. Just saying. Okay, so like again, scrolling down and seeing what people are talking about. Okay, so still just taking my time reading what people are saying. Okay, Cosmos United is saying, is it bad to deny aspects of you from your past? Say past relationships, behaviors that were inflicted on you. Does that mean you haven't learned the lesson and can't evolve, or that you are selfish? No, it's not wrong. You simply, like, you might look at your past lives and look like, hey, whatever I did back then, I don't like it right now. Back then it might have seemed like a good idea, or I was involved in something, but right now you don't approve of it. It is totally okay. And here's the thing. Having flexibility is a strength. Being able to change your mind and quit on something is a strength. It's like I'm going sideways again, but more like people are being controlled or sort of like affected into being one-dimensional, like one thing, and if you made a decision, you have to always go with it and always do the thing you decided to do. It is okay to change your mind on whatever. It is okay to say like, oh yeah, well, I thought about it and I don't want to do it anymore. Not my thing anymore. So like, it's okay to always change your mind, to quit things, to not want to do something else that you did. And when it comes to past lives, You just like right now, from your point of view, from what you have experienced, you might look and recall who you were, what you did, relationships you had, the behavior you had, and all the stuff. And you're like, okay, there are things I like about my past lives and I don't like about my past lives. For example, every one of us, we're all over the place. We are there to create, we are there to destroy, we are there to love, we're there to hate. And having one thing for so long is boring. It leads us into like, yeah, it's too repetitive. For example, here was this guy, all the fun in lucid dreaming. He was able to do anything, have fun, have sex, play around and all the stuff, like whatever needs he wants to fill out. Lucid dreams, gets it all done. Gets bored, like okay, like but what else? What's besides fun? Like what's in there? And it's good because like it shows like an example, like a person was able to have all the time on his hand, to have all the fun, and finally like okay, I'm done with fun. Is there anything else to it? You know, like so like that curiosity, it's good. So of course we will have different relationships. It's not always gonna be like super loving and just one like monogamy where you have only one partner, it's all good and like until the end of time and stuff like that. And then because I had you until the end of time, I want to have the same person in the other like past like life and another life and another life. It's like you're gonna get bored. It's like, hey, look, I love you and all, but I want to do something else. I want to do something new. And it's totally okay. It's totally okay to have one life and the other life, one partner and the other partner, and do other things because we live for so freaking long that we experience absolutely everything. And with all these possibilities, you know, we're looking for something new. We're looking for something different. And so we will have lives where we were pretty crazy beings, where we're killing off others, where we're complete assholes, hating others, maybe being psychopaths and narcissists ourselves. We might have had those, and it's okay. But like you reflect on it now, and you're like, oh well, damn, I don't like that. I don't want to do it to others. And I sort of like recalling who I was and relationships I had, like damn, I don't want that. So it's okay to reflect on your lives and not to be like, yeah, I don't like what I did before. And as a being, you have the rights to grow, to change your mind, and do whatever you want, have the freedom. So it's totally okay to recall the stuff and as well, like not agree with what you were doing. So it does not mean that you're not learning your lesson. It does not mean that you are selfish. No. This is what the life is about. It's about the experience, it's about enjoying things and you know, like trying out something new. It doesn't mean that like learning the experience and stuff like that. It's another thing, sort of like another lie. Like it's like we want to experience things. It does not mean that we want to learn it hardcore. For example, like, oh well, what it's like to kill people. And you will have lifetime after lifetime learning what it's like. No. You're more like, oh, okay, and you're done. And that's enough. It does not mean that you have to spend your whole lifetime dealing with it. It's totally okay. So like, the whole like learn the lesson and not be able to evolve is sort of crap new age, sort of like, or maybe like controlled new age story that is supposed to tell you like you have to be a certain way, you have to do this, you have to suffer, you have to repeat this sort of thing. You don't. You have the freedom to sort of like, no, I don't want to do that thing. I don't like it. I'm done with this. No more. It's like this whole thing like on Earth, like, oh, like Earth is a school, so come here to learn and, you know, like learn to appreciate life by suffering. Like if you have to suffer and go through a lot of like hardships and starve and be homeless and have like crushed relationships to understand that you have to value life. It's like, fuck you. When I go to a planet and I see a bunny and there's no one else there, I appreciate life. When I see another person, I appreciate life. It's like I don't have to suffer to be there. So, you know, it's like it's totally okay to change your mind. To like, hey, I don't like that life. I don't like what was happening. I don't like the relationship. You don't have to go back to it. You don't have to repeat it. You don't have to do it. Like, you have the freedom. And if someone else is telling you otherwise, like, you have to stay and do stuff to evolve, no. Having experience and different experiences is the evolution. Being able to come here as a human being, come out and become a reptilian and become a mantis and go to other places is your evolution, because you're exploring things, because you're like learning new things. You don't have to stick in one place to learn about this planet's culture. Fuck that shit. Like, yeah, like who cares? You're gonna be done with this life and move on. Is that like a significant thing? It's a side thing. It's like side mission. Like no one really cares about it. So I would say like find your own truth and what fits best for you. But all of these like because like you have to like suffer or experiencing certain things and certain relationships and certain behaviors, you don't have to go through it. You don't have to repeat the same things and like, because like again, like That's what like gotta be. Like it's very empowering and just like, hey, do what makes you happy. And if you look at your other lives and you're not happy with it, you don't have to do it. No one else is forcing you unless they are not well-meaning. Like usually people that force their opinion or their stuff on you are actually the ones who have a bigger plan and stuff, like they want to deceive or something like that. So like don't listen to them. Like it's like don't take like candies from the strangers. It's like the same thing. Like you don't know what they're offering and stuff like that. So like again, I would just sort of like push the idea, or more like just sort of share the idea, like, hey, you have all the control of yourself. You don't have to go there. You experience the life and the relationships and the certain behaviors and activities. You did not like it, for example. It is totally okay to change your mind and choose the life you want to have and not go there. You didn't like it, you learned. You learned that, like, hey, I had enough. It's enough, I don't want to do it anymore. And that's done. No more need to, like, go into the details and stuff. Like, you're good. So, yeah. Moving on. I'm reading Sarsi's comments like, can you make beings forget the information they know about you? Yeah, like if there are other races who can wipe our memories and make sure they block it all out, you can do the same things to others if that's your intention. It's a thing, yeah. Okay, what happens if a character from an anime dies? Do they just spawn off realm? Because it's an interesting thing that, as I read about the present realms, if someone that travels dies, there can't access it again. No. Yeah, like for example, you are in one realm, and whether it is anime, it's a movie, or some kind of realm, and a being there dies. It does not mean that they cannot come back. It does not mean that they're dead forever. For example, like you are consciousness, you are the godlike being who can do absolutely everywhere and everything and all this stuff. So, for example, like okay, your favorite anime character or something that being got killed. Like oh damn, but you're the godlike being. If you want, you can change this now. Like oh, bring them to life, like just like that, and one snap of the fingers, and the person is back there and back in life. So they can totally live. Just because the character dies doesn't mean they're dead forever, because you're in control. You can create the worlds, unless the world is created by someone else, and sort of like when you go in, you're a player and you don't get the access to the admin stuff, as in like you don't get to create the world. So if you live in the world where you don't have powers, you're more like, oh, the character died and the person creating the whole thing doesn't want him to come back. Okay. And that's okay, but like you're like, okay, so that's what happened, but you can back off and simply create your own realm with the character in it. And simply everything else that has happened there, but your own version of the story, and now you have your own thing. So there's that. But like, yeah, like, having this whole thing, like, if someone dies, they don't have access, like, to it again, it's crap. It's like, it's basically someone else trying to block you from coming back, or simply, like, someone else who doesn't want you going back there or stuff. But then again, like, it's very different on Earth, where they're like, you have to come back in here. It's like, fucked up. Gusman, nobody's asking. I'll give you an easy one. Picard or Kirk. I think it's like from the... yeah, Star Trek. I have not seen it. But because I sort of do like that bald guy. Sir Patrick Stewart, I think? So I think he was playing Picard or Picard or however you would say his name. I'm gonna look it up just to make sure I don't have my info wrong. Star Trek. Picard. Yeah, I would pick Picard. Just because I like the person better from what I've seen, but just because of that, like, I have not seen Star Trek, so no comment, you know? Andromeda is asking, like, what is the best way to leave from here? Depends on your own standards. Do you want a, like, painful way out? Or simply, like, just like, my option would be get out of body, like literally getting out of body. You don't even have to look for like walk-in. You can literally get out of body and not come back. You just go off and go on exploring and do your own thing, and the body either will drop dead or sort of some other being will come in on its own. But like getting out of body would be my way. Why can't humans say yes to the Galactic Federation of Worlds? Well, saying yes to them is like saying, yeah, COVID is a good thing, yeah, go on, deep state controls and stuff like that. It's like, the whole Galactic Federation is bullshit. They're there to control us and mess with us and stuff like that. So, you can say yes to that, but it's like agreeing to your own doom, you know? Yeah, and what Tan saying, be careful, some say that Federation is false light, and also many Federations are difficult to tell which positive and which is false light. A lot of them I just have to deceive. Like the whole thing with the Astral Command, like with some people, like, oh, like there's like Jesus on board and all the other things, like where you sort of have this like a great point of view and everything else, like they're all loving and giving and they're gonna be there to free you and give information. Man, I was doing a session and these beings are like just basically like the angels trying to come to you, all loving and caring and just offering you things, and you're like, yeah, please help me. And they're like, yeah, but you have to agree to us helping you. And all of a sudden you make an agreement, like, why do I have to agree to you helping me in the first place? And they're like, oh, just come on board of our ship. And the moment you agree to come on board on their ship, you're sort of stuck for billions of years for us, like, being a slave. And they can use you. So, like, there's a lot of crap with the Astral Command and Galactic Federation's Astral Commands. I'm not going for it. Like, there's a lot of this bad stuff going on. Jonas is saying, so I have a question, what happened to the new icon on the Discord server? Let's go back and check. I think I just changed it, like, if that's what you're talking about, like, did I change it? Probably did. Might change it as well, like right now. Tan, I got your message. Oh, okay. Whoa, you write quite a lot. I'm glad you wrote back, because, like, I did not know you were there. Good. Something to write back to, yeah. Discord, like, I was, like, changing the icons, that's it. Nothing more than that. Unless some kind of glitch. Okay, Skrato is saying, nesinoriu gadinti tavo kalbos, bet džiaugiuosi, jog sugebėjai tokį didžiulį užsieniečių bendruomenę surinkti. Basically saying, like, I don't want to ruin your speech, but I'm really glad that, like, you got together such a big community from abroad. And yeah, I appreciate it as well. I'm just amazed. I'm just amazed that I was able to do it. Like, and again, like, each and every one of you, I would not be able to do what I'm doing today if it wasn't for you. So every single support, you watching these videos, talking to me and all this stuff, I appreciate it. Each and every one of you. So thank you. And Skrato, thank you for being here and talking it up. Okay, so just like moving back to the videos topics, I'm not sure if like the whole stream or stuff like that, but like Tan is saying that like more timestamps on the videos, and I can definitely do that. We'll see if I will do the whole thing, like if I upload the whole stream and then timestamp it, because like I did on like Sony Vegas as well. Like if I'm editing and cutting the videos, like some parts out, I do like leave a timestamp for myself for the topic and everything else to upload it separately on the video, but still possible. Okay, the Andromeda is saying, Akvile, I'm going crazy every time I go out of body, see the goddamn reality, and I don't want to see it. It's such annoying. So I guess from what you're saying is like every time you get out of body, you wake up and you're here, and then like this kind of like, let's say in the actual form, but you are here on Earth, seeing every single day life and being stuck here. It's definitely not fun. One of the things I would suggest, and basically create the anchor where you can go. For example, like let's say here on Earth is kind of like where you're stuck. And there's a reason you're stuck here. So simply like think of like, let's say having an anchor, like ship has an anchor to be in one place and not go anywhere else. You take the anchor and you put it somewhere else, like for example, like 4th dimension or your own realm, and you anchor yourself and you forward yourself to that place. That would be a thing. But if you're stuck here and you can't get out, there'll be reasons why like you're here, and then you would look into like, okay, I would actually even like choose to audit that, choose to, why are you always seeing Earth? Like are like there are certain things you're stuck with, or like more like, yeah, let's say you're not enjoying life. You're like, Earth sucks for you, you hate this life, you just want to leave right now, but everything you're focusing on is this life on Earth. You know, like your main focus is like how bad this is, and you're like simply your focus here is where it's kind of like double-edged sword. For example, like people who are like, I want to sleep, and just like rest, right? And people who really want to sleep will not get out of body, because when they get out, they're asleep there as well. So like they don't remember the experience. And so like simply focusing on Earth and how bad it is, when you get out, you're on Earth because your focus is here of how bad it is. So like switching your focus on your belief system would be a thing, or maybe auditing like what might be some of the reasons for like always like when you get out of body being here on Earth. And what is like it suggests, and like what are some of the other things. So you basically go deeper within yourself and like might find some implants or other things that are holding you down here. So that'd be like something to look into. Scrider was like asking, will you start streaming on Twitch? I have been doing that like a long time ago. I think like I have like Akvile or something. Let's see. But it's been like a really long time since I've did that. Yeah, Kurosawa. Weird. I still have my settings there. Woo! Do they have dark mode? Yeah! Fuck yeah. Okay, good. Let's see. So I'm gonna share my Twitch if any one of you wants to. What? Fuck. Wrong image. There we go. This stuff. So if any one of you, like, this is my old stream, Kurosawa. If you want to check it out. But I'm not streaming there, like, you know, like, so, like, I might move it, or, like, maybe if I play games, I might stream to both platforms, because, like, I'm using Streamlabs OBS, which allows you to stream to multiple platforms at the same time, which is, like, YouTube, Twitch, and other places. So, like, right now I'm focusing only on YouTube, but I want to sort of discover if I do multiple, would I see chats from both, like just like YouTube and Twitch, or just one platform, and do I have to open up windows to get back to both communities, or what the hell? So like, I don't want to overwhelm myself with that, and I still would like to do some research before I go there. Alex Malcolm is saying, hey Akvile, do you think it would be a good idea to have a private support group specifically for people who are heavily targeted by entities? Power and numbers, I guess, you know, all of us. Yes. Alex, I would totally go for that idea. Having this private group and like specifically, you know, like gathering us as a community who understand each other, support each other, and basically, if there are people who were able to help them and they were able to deal, like those that are in like are messed with entities and other things, were able to deal with them and then like learn through it and grow and get better and help others, we can just like create this massive like wave of ripples of how to change the world and all this stuff. So like if you are doing this, I would like to be in this group and help you out, but you know, like depends on what your plans are, but I think like it's a really good idea, and we can totally focus on that. Andromeda is asking, like, Akvile, what do you know about the old souls? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean by the old soul? Like, each and every one of us have lived for billions of years. Is that old? Or living the zillions of years is old? So, like, really depends. It's like, it's simply just a being who has a bit more experience. That's it. It's like, I don't like, even like, for me, old souls are like simply same thing as putting a label of, oh, I'm a starseed. Like, so? I don't give a fuck, you know. Every one of us is a starseed. Every one of us is an old soul, because we eventually come from so freaking long of existence. So, not my space. So, like, I'm really like, I don't give a fuck, old or new, or I don't care. Any thoughts on transhumanism? Do you believe the push of vaccines and the microchip related to this? And thoughts on the subject? Is it a trap? Yeah, I don't agree to transhumanism. I don't like the whole subject, even though it's a sci-fi. And it seems like for most people it would seem convenient, because right now, like I mentioned before in stream, we have people in Sweden and other countries that do willingly accept and ask to be sort of like implanted with RFID chips, so that they would not have to carry cars from keys from the car or a house, and instead of switching your hand a little bit to unlock the door, now you just move your hand like that, and you like oh, big fucking deal. But people are like so like looking forward into the comfort and to how to make your life easier and stuff like that. And then we have tons of communities pushing the idea like, hey, this stuff we have right now is getting old. Earth or humans are evolving. We need to get better. We need to adapt to technologies. And this is pushing the whole of humanity into like robots taking over the tons of job places. But if they are reforming the system into having robots work, then they have to take care of what people are going to do, because, you know, like, it's like literally taking away tons of jobs and other things. But that's just like the starting point. And it's already happening in some stores where, for example, like Amazon and other places, like they have drones that will deliver the packages. So like, who needs the UPS, and there are people who will deliver the packages and other things like that. So like even right now they have robots that can like do the whole surgery, like one hand of robot doing the surgery and sewing things up, and like smooth as can be. But you know, like there's a lot of like of that going on, and that's just sort of like having a little bit of technology in our lives, and sort of like it's been pushed and it's been moved, and people are becoming like, oh, it's a new normal. It's okay to have this thing. It's all good and all this stuff, and like they're making us comfortable with the idea that we're like always surrounded by the technology. It's getting better every day. Sort of like it's a new generation, and you have to go with it and adapt with it. Like, we're pushing our grandparents into get the phone or something because I need to contact you and stuff like that. And now they're like, the others are pushing us again to get to a robot and stuff like that. So like, there's a lot of things going on with just that. But when it comes to transhumanism, all of a sudden we become part human, part robot or something like that, and then being pushed into part like sort of like androids and like other things. But basically, we have sex dolls right now. Like, let's say a sex doll that is sort of like looks like humanish, and it's like really pretty, like all the details, like damn, high quality, looks like ooh, boobies and stuff like that, like awesome. But at the same time, there's a robot within, and they have all the functions, and they can talk to you a little bit, and they can listen to you, and they can moan and that kind of bullshit. And people are like, oh, so realistic. I don't have a girlfriend, so I can fuck this robot. Woo! Have all the sex I want, and they're not gonna say no to me. I feel good about myself. Shit like that, you know. So satisfying their whole like quality of life and all this stuff. But literally, a person can hack the doll in 10 seconds. Can hack the doll and make it pick up a knife. Oh, hi buddy. You know, killing you and all this stuff. People can literally hack Tesla cars in 10 seconds. So the whole thing with, oh, we have awesome technology, it's so fancy and all this stuff, and we have tons of hackers who can actually play with it, you know? So if we have Tesla cars being hacked no matter how fancy they are, if we have sex dolls that can be hacked no matter how fancy they are, think of having, oh wow, I just got this awesome robotic hand, and I used to be disabled, I lost my arm in the war, and now I have my fucking arm, and like I feel great, and I can lift things up, and you feel like you like life open up with new doors and like possibilities, and you feel like, hey, I'm alive, I can do things. And next thing you know, someone else connects to your hand, controls it against you, beats you up and all this stuff. So there's a lot of things that can actually happen in between. And I'm not pushing on it. Like, I'm not pushing that because, you know, it's too easy to spy on us, to see what we're doing, what we're thinking. And they've had technologies for years. And it's so easy to, let's say, Deus Ex had this part where, let's say, Deus Ex Human Revolution had this part in the game where people get implanted, where people get sort of like transhumanism, like everyone has sort of like some bionics and other things, like now they're part human, like part robot, and they have more abilities, they can jump, they can run, they can finally do things that they like always dreamed of. And like, you might have bad eyesight, but you get sort of implants, and all this time, you know, you have perfect vision, and just sort of like one eye watches a movie, the other eye sees reality and goes on and stuff like that. So we're just like getting fancier and stuff like that. But how much are these dolls? Amazon, I think. Anyway, coming back to the subject. In the Deus Ex Human like revolution, what happens is, since like when everyone gets implanted and there's a new update to the software to make sure there are no glitches, stuff like that, the new update to the software is actually making sure that they can control you at any point in time. And then the government that like actually owns the thing to the technology are like, okay, and now that everyone has the new update and they have their own tech, you are gonna experience something new. And they click a button and everyone becomes controlled, and they lose sort of like lose self-control, lose self-awareness, and becomes fully controlled because the parts they had like starts acting against themselves, killing off others and doing other things, and like, oh, a little accident, a little glitch, we have to end it off, like it doesn't work, fuck, how do we turn it off? And tons of people end up killing each other and stuff like that. So it's sort of fantasy a game, but it's so freaking close to reality, because who knows how far it can go. For example, we're looking at the China with their cameras, like they have over like hundreds of millions of cameras, and it's connected to the AI where they can recognize your face, they can know your name, your age, your mood, your beauty. They're rating like, are you a beautiful person or are you not? Your clothing, what do you wear? What kind of car do you drive? Where do you live? How long do you stay at home? Who do you go out with? Where do you go out? And stuff like that. Tons of tracking. And it's not just that, but at the same time, they have the whole rating system where, for example, if you, let's say it's against walking in the red light and stuff like that, but you end up walking, like there are no cars, red light, I'm like, I'm in a hurry, so I'm gonna just go to the red light, but all of a sudden, because cameras noticed you, your face is publicly on the shame wall, because you broke the law, because you did something nasty, and there's just like one thing, being publicly shamed and stuff like that, but at the same time, their whole like, score system, literally they will rate if a person is doing good deeds or bad deeds, and all of a sudden the government has control. If you at least one time, for example, don't take out your trash or do something else, like for example, like, oh, I was like walking through the street talking, and like I was pulling out my phone out of my pocket, and a little paper came out of my pocket and I didn't see it, and sort of like now I'm littering. Someone saw it, someone took a picture, or even the cameras noticed you, and they like sort of, this person is littering. You lose your credits or stuff like that, and all of a sudden, because you accidentally dropped a little paper, you can't travel anymore, you get paid less, you don't get opportunities and other things, your family gets affected, and so like you're being monitored. So this is just like what's going on in China. But think about like what can happen to today's life with like technology being like progressing and stuff like that. Like a lot of things can go sideways real fast. And so if people are agreeing to sort of like, yeah, it's okay, we need to be watched and stuff like that, like they're saying like, it's for your own safety. Man, if any of you have heard about remote neural monitoring, governments have ways to use their technology to actually connect to you. If you thought that like, hey, they can watch me through cameras, they can watch me everything else, but the only private thing I have left is my own mind. It's no longer your own mind. It's no longer private space, because they have remote neural monitoring, they have technology like voice to skull and other things where governments can actually use their tech to connect to you and read everything you're thinking. And so your thought energy still has energy, and it can be translated into text. So basically whatever you're thinking can be translated into the text, and now the government will be basically monitoring you if you're a possible criminal. If you're thinking about killing someone, if you're thinking about like bombarding or like basically bombing and other things, are you a bad person? And they're just like doing it for your own safety, to make sure you're not a bad person, and assuring that if anyone else has bad thoughts, you'll be safe. So they have abilities to get within your head. Akvile, you're bullshitting, what the fuck, like where's the evidence? Let's see if I can pull it up, because I've been checking a lot of stuff that I probably shouldn't, but whatever. Can I... Well, remote neural monitoring. Let's see if I can find more. Simply, yeah, look up people like remote neural monitoring. I might find other pages as well. Yeah, there they go. There we go. So just to make sure, like, I'm not bullshitting you. Wait, wrong window. Yeah, remote neural monitoring. Check this out. Mindcontrol.se. Remote neural monitoring. technology used for controlling the human brain. So there's a lot of info you can find, but they explain the technology, how it all works, and the brain, the technology, how it's used, and how they can get within your head, read your thoughts, and other things. And it's not just that. It's not just that. I might actually give me a second, pull out my email, or like a thing where I was writing my script. I brought them more things regarding it, but they're like people who work in the government, officials, works with the NSA and other things, and they themselves were like, where was it? This is a long one. Oh, did I have more? But yeah, like government officials who work like in NSA and stuff like that, like were like saying like, oh, we worked on this project and it's actually really amazing, but at the same time it's actually sort of like violating the human rights and the privacy and other things. But like there's tons of that crap, and we just get to hear the little bits that they tell us about, and we never get to the surface of things. I mean, like we never get to the core. Like we are in the surface, but we never get to the core, to be right. But yeah, so transhumanism is this massive subject. I do not agree with it. The vaccines we have right now, it might be related to microchipping people. We don't know if the vaccine is there yet. I mean, like the microchip is there yet. But at the same time, if we're looking at, I just dropped my lid for the while. If we're looking at the technology with the nanobots and things we can't see with the naked eye, it's so easy to implant little things we don't know about it. So smart dust and other things like that, who knows? But it's definitely related. It's definitely related. Anyway, a lot of chit chat and all this stuff. Whew, okay, been talking for a while, and I've been streaming for 3 hours and stuff. So one thing I'm gonna do is copy your comments on what you're saying, so that I could have like future reference for possible videos and stuff. But at the same time, I should start wrapping it up. We'll see, like, I'm probably gonna wrap it up because, like, my little throat is like, hey, you're not used to talking so long. So, yeah, we'll see. But anyway, anyone, thank you for watching. I'm gonna do a super selfish thing right now. I'm gonna do a very selfish thing. Rich and I, we have like discounts, and right now if you buy one session you get another one for free. If you buy 5 sessions you get 5 more, whatever. I hate selling my stuff because I hate pushing this, but my goal is to make money to give my parents, or like help my parents to pay the debt. So I want to make more money, and right now if you think that what I do will help you, feel free to buy a session, because right now is a deal where you can actually benefit and get more sessions out of like less money. So richwest.net is where you can get the thing. But that being said, feel free to completely ignore that thing and like do whatever you want. I'm completely okay about it. Like I just like feel like I'll push it, but like yeah. Everyone, thank you for watching the stream. Thank you for being here, supporting me, sharing your own thoughts and ideas, and inspiring me to be here and like stream and all this stuff. I think I'm gonna be live tomorrow because it's still weekend, and I can definitely like answer more questions. So probably similar time, 7 to 8 to 9 p.m. Lithuania time to whatever. But I'll start getting earlier. I think we'll see. Anyway, I wanted to thank you all for being here. It really means a lot to me. Like all of you being here, watching my stuff. I really appreciate it. Like I'm not taking it for granted, and it means a lot to me. So thank you. And I want to do everything I can to bring you as much value as possible. That being said, I'm gonna wrap it up, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. So bye bye.